Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? This is C-Certified Brewhead.
And I am Nathan from Nathan Does Beer.
And welcome to episode 11 of Beer and Other Shit, the podcast, Business of Beer. Nathaniel.
We are back.
We are back in the building. This is the first pod we've done together since January.
Did we do one in early February?
No, we did it when I was in Florida. That's what I was going to say.
Oh,
Sorry.
yes, that's what it was. And welcome back.
Yes,
welcome back to the home set.
It's great to be back in the set. Great to be back on home soil. Fun trip. Exhausted as you are after 6.5 weeks on not entirely on the road, but it was intense. It was fun. It was nice being in 30 degrees when y'all were getting a winter's worth of snow in 2 weeks. So
yeah,
timed it pretty smoothly.
You sure did.
Coming back, this podcast is pretty big for us because this is, I would say, in the almost 10 years that we have been around, 10 years in April, it's the biggest thing we've ever done. This is pretty
for sure
wild. And the way that this came about, the way that this continued to escalate was what we're going to be talking about tonight. It's crazy. It's crazy. I made this too bright. My shit was looking dark. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to just do it lighten up. There we go. Yeah, man, this is intense. And the guest we had on tonight is essentially responsible for this very large undertaking that we're doing, and we're excited to have her on and to get into the details. And if you're watching, it's already been announced to the world, but we're going to talk about it in a second. But yeah, this is exciting. This is not something that we've done anything like, even on a small scale. We haven't really done anything much like this before. A few collab releases, but nothing crazy. So This is a large undertaking that's been in the works since probably 7-8 months, maybe
something like that. Yep,
something like that. So it's a lot, but let's get right into it. So let me just switch this up. Beautiful. I'm going to press this button, folks. Please welcome Erica from Blood Brothers in the building.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, Erica. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
Good. It's good to see you.
Yeah,
good to see you.
Too.
And your first time on the pod, which is kind of wild.
Wild. I know. I'm in my dark dungeon basement. Here's my beautiful furnace.
It's a great furnace, and you've got some mood lighting going.
Oh,
I like it.
Yeah.
Here for it. Thank you for joining us and for taking the time to hang out. And we got a lot to talk about tonight, and this is pretty exciting. And essentially, like I was saying, you really spearheaded us on this whole journey that we never anticipated on going on. So I'm excited to get into it with the folks in much more detail, even though we still haven't said what it is yet. But if you've seen the title, you know. So we're gonna be drinking some fantastic Blood Brothers beers this evening. Shall we get started with this classic right here, Shumei IPA?
Yeah.
And Erica's got the little shorty.
Got the stabber.
Could you give us? I know you got big shouts to Patty. You got some intel on the beer itself.
Yeah. So Shumei is a year-round brand that we do. It's one of the very first beers that Braden and Dustin Jones, the two owners of Blood Brothers, ever made. Excellent IPA, East Coast kind of style, nice hazy, appearance there for sure. 35 IBUs. We just are using Citra and Mosaic on that. So just nice, juicy, little creamy on there, and just excellent Ontario IPA. And I've got it in the LCBO. We just dropped the price, so it's been picking up like wildfire even more at the LCBO, and it's definitely our top seller, one of our top sellers on draft as well across Ontario.
That's amazing. What's the new price, just for people to know? And is it for shorties or the tolls?
Yeah, so the shorties are just at the brewery and at bars that want them, but we've got the 473 ml, the 16 ounce at LCBO, at convenience now, some grocery, and it dropped from $4.95 to $4.50. So, a nice little solid discount now, permanent discount.
I love that. That's very appealing. I think it giving all the recent occurrences and obviously the Canadian pride right now that we're rocking with. I love it. Yeah, fantastic. Citra Mosaic, Nate. Let us cheers, yo.
Mm,
Let's do
Great
it.
to have you.
Cheers.
Cheers, yo.
cheers. Good to see you both.
Nice. Yeah, Shumei's a classic. I really enjoy this beer. I always it's really cool to have like something like this as like a flagship for Blood Brothers. I find that it's like if I go to a bar in Toronto, and I find that Toronto does have a lot of great spots as far as like the offerings at bars. I find are really great. And if I see Shumei on tap anywhere, I'm grabbing that shit.
Totally.
It's,
Got
like,
that big
and
hand.
another-
You
Yeah.
Yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so inviting. Like another thing that I find is great in the Toronto scene is that like a lot of the restaurants there, even ones that aren't like necessarily full on beer bars, but like for the ones that at least have a handful of local craft options, like most of them will be Toronto ones. Like you'll very often see Shumei there along with along with a couple of other easy standbys like Jutsu or other ones like that. So that's a great thing. And it's been a couple of years since I've last had Shumei, and it's great to taste it again.
Yeah, it's tasting great, and it's 7%, so it definitely packs a punch. A little higher than some of the other, Ontario regularly made IPAs, but it's just so smooth. There's no like bitter astringent finish. Yeah, it's just excellent. So
dank citrus.
Absolutely.
Shumei,
Great haze
Shumei.
on it, like
Mhm.
really great haze, like that kind of almost borderline milky haze, which is something I'm quite partial to.
Oh yeah.
It sits perfect as well. Shout out to these glasses as well. And we rocking these. Do you remember this was a couple of Nate? I thought you might have got these. The Blood Brothers.
I did, and as soon as you pulled yours out, I'm kicking myself because I was like, "How did I forget that I had those and didn't think to bring them down with me?"
It's okay. I've done that
fucking
before,
idiot.
and I've seen you with the ones, and I was like, I have that exact glass, and I should have brought it. So don't worry.
What's the name of that glass? It's so gorgeous. I can't remember. Is it meant for? It's an IPA glass.
Correct.
Right?
This is the IPA one. There's like a smaller one, which I'm going to bust out for the next one. And
then we have those for sale at our shop.
The large one. I got the pack for
Oh,
and there's a Pilsner
it.
glass too.
Yeah.
The company starts with either V or P or something. It's like a.
I thought it was S. Isn't it like Sempli or something?
There you go.
That?
Yeah.
It's got a P in it. There you go. I can.
You sounded so confident.
I really did.
What is it? Sempli? S-E-M-P-L-I?
I think so. I think it's SEMPLI.
Yeah,
Cool,
I found it online. The Monty Monti taste set. They're calling it. It doesn't say Simply here. They just call Monty IPA, Monty Pills, Pint, and Bira.
All right, where am I thinking of that? I know I'm thinking of that name from somewhere.
No, I'm looking at the front of the box. It says Simply. You are correct.
Oh, okay, good.
So
I'm not crazy.
On the text, it doesn't say it. It's only on the picture.
Yeah.
Either way, it's $140. It's available at Blood Brothers and online. These glasses, I need a better glass shelf because I get these hidden as well. So I don't bust them out as much as I'd like to. And I was getting glasses for tonight and I saw one of them behind another glass. I was like, yo, yeah. So very, very classy. Makes me feel very classy drinking.
I feel like with two toddlers and I'm just a klutz. This is to me, like I know it's not like the right way to drink an IPA, but I'm like, I just need a hearty tumbler.
A nice tumbler.
Yeah.
Look, we're both partial to tumblers as well.
I love the tumblers.
Tumblers are the best. They're just solid. Yeah.
They're fantastic. So
my glassware is well out of reach of my toddler for a reason.
Yeah, you're definitely going to be doing that.
Smashed. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So should we start with Erica's story and then get into what we're going to be talking about? Because I feel like Erica's story is like fantastic context, or should we just at least say what the fuck we're going to be talking about? Maybe. I feel like maybe let's not stretch out the tease too long. We can we can come out and say what we're talking about, then get Erica's story, and then we'll dive into the details. I love it. This is what I see. Nate knows what's up.
Nate just solves the problem, and I respect
every
that.
time.
Yeah,
he brings me back down to earth.
You guys work well together.
It works.
Oh, thank
you. Perfectly. It's great. So BAOS turns 10 technically on April 15th. Next month, and that 10 years is pretty crazy, and we are doing our first ever major event called the Get It In Ya Spectacular celebration of 10 years of BOS at Blood Brothers on Saturday, May 31st. We need to get it played.
Yeah, get the round of applause.
I'm playing it. There you go. Oh, it's
Very exciting.
it's
That's
pretty
huge.
crazy. It's something that we've never done before. We've done a few little launch parties. We did
Mhm.
one at rest in peace, Bar Hop and Peter with Sawdust for our first ever can release for Get It In Your beer.
Mhm.
And this is the next level. 40 collabs, DJ, food, dessert, 2 sessions, maybe more if we get frisky. It's terrifying and exciting and
Yeah.
a ton of work for the three of us and others in the team as well. But it's so cool. It's so cool. I
It'll be
actually
great.
was one thing that I was excited to get back for wasn't the weather, but I was like, I need to really like head down. We have things to do. We have brew days to attend, canning days, things to organize. Got the launch. Obviously, this pod is releasing the week after the actual launch,
Mhm.
so it's very very cool. And essentially, it's all happening because of Erica. It was her idea. It was her like spearheading this thing, and Nate and I just along for the ride. And it's been fascinating. I've done events many times in my life, but nothing to this scale. And obviously, this is something that you've been doing for a decade plus. So we're
Mhm.
very grateful for you. We very much appreciate all your work with all of this. And I feel like part of the beginning of the pod definitely needs to have just your story, how you got into beer and what you've been doing in beer leading up to. Obviously, you're at Blood Brothers right now. You've been at many incredible breweries in the province and your own company as well, which has very much changed the game for women in craft beer in this province and arguably beyond. So uh how did you get into beer, and can you just maybe walk us through your career?
Yeah. Thank you for that. That was super kind. Um, So I'm actually trained as a teacher. I have a BEd, a master's from McGill in education, and I was really planning to enter into teaching education in some capacity. And I think I was 24, 25 when I was all done post secondary, and was working at all sorts of cool jobs in Toronto related to education, but kept hearing that it would take a good decade to have a full time permanent job in the teaching in the public school board in Toronto. And I never grew up with parents that had those kind of bureaucratic jobs. My dad was in sales and always worked for himself. And my mom stayed at home and always did kind of cool little side hustles. And so I just never got excited about, working for a government entity, I guess. And I definitely wasn't going to wait around for 10 years to do for that to happen. So
Right.
I actually took a job off Craigslist, which I think maybe still exists, working at Great
Sure.
Lakes at GLB.
Hmm.
And this was back, I want to say like 2011, 2012,
Okay.
doing brand ambassador side hustle things. So doing LCBO customer tastings at the front of the stores and doing tap takeover activations that were needed when the reps needed to go. And I would take over doing samplings at bars and things like that. And I had never been a bartender. I'd always worked with kids and worked with youth. So it was kind of this, but I just loved it. I had lived in Montreal for my master's, went to McGill, really fell in love with beer in Montreal, which how can you not? I
Of
lived right
course.
by Dia de Ciel. And so it just kind of became a natural fit. So worked at Great Lakes part-time, very casually. And then I took a mat leave gig for a year at Black Oak Brewery, which is,
Hmm.
I think now blended into Silversmith.
It is.
Or bought Silversmith bought Black Oak.
Mm.
It was basically on the other side of the guard. The Gardner. Uh,
Yeah.
wow, and staff of 5 at the time, and really was a Jill of all trades. Did routed the drivers, did sales all across the province. You know, paid the bills, met with the production team, and just kind of did a bunch of everything. And it was cool. It really worked with my personality, and I got to kind of jump around and do it all. And it was a really fun job to kind of grow my knowledge of the beer industry. And then I was asked by Matt Johnson to work for Collective Arts for him, and this was actually I think we were at Steam Whistle at the time, and it was right when grocery was launching. So we were all
Hmm.
set up with our booths at Steam Whistle. All the grocery bigwigs were coming in. We were all kind of nervous. The Metro guy was coming in. The Walmart buyer was coming in. We had no idea what to expect with this grocery channel. And I had a nice chat with Matt. And, we kind of I started working at Collective a couple months later, and it was such a different brewery than Black Oak, right? Like Collective was quite young at the time. I was selling 6-pack bottles into LCBO still of Ransack and Saint of Circumstance and Rhyme and Reason. But it was great. I had structure, I had KPIs, I had targets, I had a budget, I had all these things that at Black Oak I didn't have, right? It was much more of a Wild West, which is also awesome too. So I learned that other side of a craft brewery that was bigger, huge goals, huge dreams, blowing it up, just killing it, like just doing amazing, amazing things in the North American market at the time. And then I was asked, I met Aiden and I started working at Henderson shortly after. And it really was because I wanted that Toronto home base. I lived in Toronto. It was tough to drive to Hamilton all the time. I wanted to do Toronto sales and have a Toronto brewery. And Henderson, was super cool. They were, and they still are, a community hub in that area of Toronto.
Yeah, definitely.
The brewery was super busy. Best was in every bar in Toronto. It was, a really cool time to be part of Henderson. And the team was super fun. We had a great time. So I was there until COVID hit. I had a baby and I took a couple years off. So that was, Avery was born in June 2020. Jackson was born in June 2022. And then I started working at Blood Brothers fall 2022. And to work for Blood Brothers, I mean, it is one of the top breweries in Canada. I've always been a huge fangirl. I am so grateful to be part of the team. And I'm not being cheesy. Like, I literally love the liquid. I love the branding. The brothers are awesome dudes. And it's been really cool. I've been able to really help them grow their LCBO, their retail, and then I do a lot of exporting. So I ship beer across the world, which a lot of countries and markets want Blood Brothers. So that's been really fun to work for like a really coveted, sought after brewery.
Amazing. That's a pretty crazy career.
Kind of the shit. Yeah. And then that's the brewery side. That's like the one side. And then 2022, I don't know when the fuck it was, but sometime I had an idea to kind of create something to gather women and beer. And I was meeting women, Siobhan McPherson at the time was head brewer at Mill Street in the distillery. Bridget Young was a brewer at Mill Street. And I was, Mary Beth Keefe, obviously up at Granite. And I was meeting these like folks, around the GTA. And I thought, maybe there's a way for us all to connect. Crystal Luxmore was doing a lot of great beer journalism at the time. And so I had a bunch of friends, Ren Navarro, Magenta Suzanne, Jen Reinhardt, who's at GLB, crushing it right now in sales. Jamie Dobbs, my current still business partner, who's amazing, and at Sawdust City. And myself, we launched Society of Beer Drinking Ladies. And it feels like yesterday, but also feels like a million years ago. We threw 50, 60 plus events in 10 years across Toronto. Oh my God. January 2013 was Bevy 1, Bevy 001 or some, yeah. And it was at crazy shit. So beer dinners, we definitely did some tap takeovers and stuff like that. But we did a bevy in a secret location every month, the last Friday of the month. Food vendor portion went to charity, different capacities depending on where we were. And we just like kind of created this wacky organization, and it sold out every time. And obviously there was a need for, women folks to get together in a safe, inclusive space and drink beer together. And then it, just kept snowballing into other things. We had a podcast, we had 8 releases at the LCBO. We sold swag internationally. We launched in Hamilton. We launched in Ottawa. There's all sorts of cool things that spun off. COVID hit. Obviously, events tanked. I had 2 kids. Can't be out. It's just how it is. And it's a different industry. Like, I think, I don't want to say we did our job, but I do think like we came into it at the perfect time. I think that, we had 1,500 folks at Evergreen Brickworks at our festivals. And it was the time, it was just an incredible vibe, incredible energy. Not to say that that wouldn't happen again, but I think that the industry was so exciting 7-8 years ago. It was like super hot, super fresh. Everything's kind of like in a nice plateau now, you know, and so we launched at a cool time. The industry was ready for it, and folks were ready for it. And so then what we did was we launched a brick and mortar facility, because I'm kind of crazy. And I think it was like a week before Jackson was born, it opened in June 2022. And we kind of thought like, oh, it's going to be this like hub for beer in Toronto. It's going to be the Society Beer Drinking Ladies headquarters. We're going to do all these events in our own space. We're going to like have all this women programming. And quickly it was like running a 3,400 square foot licensed facility on College Street is an insanely larger beast than we had ever imagined. And call me naive, but it is what it is. Once you get open, it's like, holy shit. So it's no longer Society Beer Drinking Ladies at all. It's like this really cool community event space. And right now I have salsa dancing till midnight. Tomorrow I have a Canadian Women's Foundation charity event. Then I have a wedding, a queer wedding for 150 folks. Like every day just has something special and different. But the dope thing about it is that we have everything from Badlands in the Fridge to Muddy York to Bellwoods to Blood Brothers. So everybody at our venue is drinking awesome beer. And we're introducing folks from Scarborough, different walks of life coming to our space to do baby showers and healing circles and First Nations events and whatever. They're drinking like Blood Brothers and whatever, Soda City. So it's been super cool to like integrate our love for beer into the space.
That's so cool.
So there you go.
That's an impressive ass resume.
It's kind of insane.
It's very insane in the best possible way. And I really felt like, thank you for that breakdown. That was really thorough and entertaining to hear, like the whole story. Because obviously we've known each other I remember we met at Henderson.
I remember that.
December 2019, because it was that event with the Jacobson collab with the Denmark.
Oh yes,
yeah, which was met you and Aiden together. I think we'd spoken and we knew of each other or something, but it was cool. First time in person. So like seeing, and we were well aware of all the society work that you'd done. And I feel like that can't be overlooked as far as like when I first started the beer thing was January 2011 doing the selfie shit. And Nate probably was around the same time as getting into beer. There really wasn't many women at any of the breweries that we went to. And I feel like what you guys have done with society is genuinely impactful as far as diversifying, making beer okay for women, and just think, hey, like this shit tastes really great, and the dudes are kind of chill. It's like a very chill environment. Like it's all good, and because on the surface it does seem very like, I don't know if I can go there. It seems like weird. So I feel like what you guys have done is very, very important, at the very least in Toronto and Ontario in general. So we should be really proud of that. It's very cool.
It was cool. I think it was cool also to like have breweries, especially dudes, pop up from all these breweries and work the like their own brewery booths at our festivals. And the food, we weren't like it has to be women only that work. Obviously that'd be great, but whatever. We're not like anti-men. And so it was great to have all sorts of like different folks from the beer industry attend our events too, to work and just see that power. And we got to the point where a lot of women were volunteering at our events or working for us and then putting it on their resume and actually getting employment at breweries. So that's what's neat, is that we were able to mentor, whether it was just informally in those kind of respects, or being able to be a reference, or literally having a beer with some of these women. And I'd often just have chats or have beers with folks to be like, hey, I've been to 25 of your bevies and I really actually want to work at town because I live in Whitby. What should I do? And like having those great conversations, because I have experience working at breweries, I could kind of give some like maybe some pro tips or connect them with the right person or things like that. So that was cool. That's and awesome. Is cool. Yeah,
it's very cool. Yeah, it's very. I think that set the scene for all of this. And obviously, you're saying you're selling out venues that are at 1,500, and what we're about to talk about is significantly less. So this is nothing to you to organize this type of thing. But we wanted to like show people all the different things that you've done and that wealth of knowledge that you bring to creating this event with us. And then so there's like the beer knowledge and the industry knowledge from working at all these incredible breweries in Ontario, and then obviously the event side, which you can do with your eyes closed at this point. So it's very, very cool that you've been down to do this, and obviously you're also one of the other people who supported Link Up from the jump, and we went down to the clubhouse because you guys were getting all of the cans. You were buying all the Ontario cans and putting them on tap, and we gave you the Link Up tap handle, and you had that. It was just you've always just been like a great supportive human in beer for BOS and for Link Up, and I've always had a great appreciation for you. I think what you do is awesome, and that's why I was excited to do this, because I knew it would be a breeze, because it's Nate and I, once again, we're not event people like that, and we need someone who knows what they're doing to drive this ship, and that's what you've been doing. So to talk about the event then, so that's awesome. So then really the event, maybe we should tell the story from the beginning, just to give the context. It's not very long anyway. So with the anniversary, the thing with BOS is the anniversary was weird. I uploaded the episode 1 on April 15th. It launched April 15th, 2015. But I did it. I was doing music. It was really my thing. This was my side project, because music's very frustrating, and I always want to be doing creative things or whatever. So I didn't want to pay for hosting, because 1, I was pretty broke at the time, but 2, I was like, I don't want to pay for like podcasts. It seems silly. So I uploaded it via Squarespace somehow, and whatever I did, it was wrong, and I wasn't able to upload a second episode. So I had a friend, and he was looking at the XML, and he was like, yeah, you have to pull that. You have to do it this way. I'm like, fuck. So I had to pull that episode down, and whatever stats that episode got, I lost that. Then upload episode 1 and then episode 2 again. And then, so that's why we never really had an anniversary. And fun fact, I'm such an idiot and didn't take it serious that for about 2.5 years I did it that way. And then I started paying for hosting. And I've lost I don't have any data for the first 2.5 years of the pod. So like our numbers are missing that first 2.5 years, which is frustrating. So we were definitely one of the first podcasts in Ontario. I know the only other one I was aware of was Bartow, which was the forum Cass. Yeah. Never met him, but heard the pod. And he was the only one before. I don't know if he's still going at all, but there was nobody else that I was aware of anyway. So I feel like we were definitely in the early stages. And so that was, and we just never did anniversary stuff. I don't know, never crossed my mind. It just wasn't really something that we did. Obviously, we were all excited about breweries doing anniversary drops and all this stuff, but for some reason, never crossed our mind.
Well, you know what? Even in those earlier days, like in 2015, 2016, even all the way up until 2018, anniversary drops were not like even for the breweries themselves was not really a big thing back in those days.
You're right. It's kind of a COVID thing.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah, it really, that is really where it took off, is more kind of a COVID thing. I feel like there was maybe the odd one where there may have been like one release for a big anniversary, like GLB probably like certainly would have put like out one beer for their 25th anniversary or some shit like that, but there was there was none of these like big, here's our like 5 or 6 and like anniversary drops like each year. That wasn't really a thing up until like 2020 and beyond.
I feel like so many folks, like brewery owners, are just so busy. You don't even remember when you opened. Like you're just like, and maybe it's the same with you, right? It's like you guys were just so busy doing shit. It's like, and also when you actually opened, it's kind of like dating, right? It's kind of like with your partner. It's like, when is our anniversary? It's kind of the same thing, right? Sometimes it's like the same with breweries. Was it your first batch? Was it when the first customer came in? Was it the first canning day? Like what actually constitutes I don't know, this is getting nerdy, but and then it's kind of like also everybody's so new. It's kind of lame to be like, we're 3, but like, that's why. So now you're seeing 10, now you're seeing 20, now you're seeing, Steam Whistle just said they're 25. I mean, they're not going to do another beer, but they'll probably do some other cool shit. But like, yeah, like I think now you're going to start to see maybe some more anniversary stuff, but yeah, anyway. So,
no, that's great context, and that's why it just wasn't a thing then. So that's really why I always just put it down, because I hadn't really thought of it the way that both of you just said, and I think that's exactly right. So one person that had been doing it is our good friend Matt McGackie, who is from a podcast called Vox and Hops in Montreal. He became a good friend of ours. He's the lead singer of a band called Cryptopsy. He's a little rock star in his metal world. It's really funny because I know him and Nate knows him as a beer guy, and I didn't know anything about the metal side, and I've seen people meet him and lose their fucking shit, and I was like, all right, this is sick. Like, good for you, Matt. He's the best. So Matt is a hustler. Like, he's done more collabs than anyone I've known. He's just out here hustling. So he came to Toronto, I think it was like May or something, on tour. So every time he's in Toronto on tour, I go and grab a beer with him. And I was telling him that, we're the anniversary. Maybe I just mentioned we're turning 10 next year. And he was like, you guys should do like anniversary, do like 10 beers for an anniversary. I'm like, okay, relax, buddy. Like, all right, maybe. And I think I ran it by Nate, and Nate was like, yeah, we should probably try and do it. We've done maybe 20 or 30 collabs over the time, like a lot of these cans and stuff here. And, it's been pretty sweet, the collabs that we've done. So then we were thinking about it, and we're like, yeah, okay, we could probably make that happen. And then after the summer, I traveling a lot. Nate was traveling too. And then Erica, you and I hung out at Beer Town in Oakville, just catching up. Been a little bit. I can't even remember. We were just talking. We're like, yeah, we should grab lunch. Like, cool. So we went for lunch. And
you live in Hamilton. I was in Toronto. So it just like made sense to meet in Oakville.
Like
and it
halfway.
was like, okay, shit, what's good in Oakville? And then I'm sure there's other places, but I just thought
Beer Town's the best.
The best.
Beer Town's fucking awesome.
Jen she curates an incredible list. And there's one in here. I live now in Waterloo. There's one in Waterloo. There's one in Cambridge. I'm like, that's where I go sometimes, pop my laptop, grab a pint. It's just like, I know the beer's going to taste good, and I can get like exchange and like, I don't know.
Bone tree on all the time.
I'm like, what? But then I can also get like a steamless or whatever I want,
Something
nice.
chill. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some Belgian stuff.
Great.
Beer Town is an exceptional. Well, fun fact: my first co-host Scott, he sent me a photo on Instagram tonight, drinking Autopop and two different Autopop Cherry Cola and another one. And I was like, "Oh, you're a Blood Brothers. We're having a pod with Erica tonight." And he's like, "Oh, I'm a Beer Town." So, and he lives in Whitby, so maybe there's one around there. I think the new Whitby one. So he was drinking Blood Brothers at Whitby, not knowing that. I'm like, sick. I fucking love Beer Town. So, so we met up there, and I was telling you what we were doing about doing the collabs, and then what happened?
I don't know. Yeah, I just I was like, you know what, dude? Like, what you and Tiffany and Nathan, what you've all created is just incredible. And Society Beer Drinking Ladies had turned 10, and I know how hard it is to hustle and be a small business owner, be an entrepreneur. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of grit. You got to be scrappy, you got to have perseverance, and a lot of folks can't do it, and that's fine too. But to hit 10 and go beyond 10 is an accomplishment, and what you've helped craft breweries do, spread the message, spread the love, be super positive, I think is really important. And so I think it'd be neat to celebrate that and do an event. And also on top of that, there's not a lot of really great beer festivals anymore. Again, COVID, I think, wiped a bunch out, or people's habits have changed and things like that. But I think if people are going out and doing festivals, they want more of the kind of boutique, small, kind of excellent beer fest. They're not going to settle for like shitty beer fests anymore. And so, and we don't want to settle for shitty beer, and we don't want to go to those either. So let's create a really great really great experience for people. Let's create the festival that we would want to go to,
I remember that.
And I think that was kind of the play. And I was like, Blood Brothers, we could do it at my Society Clubhouse, but I think it'd be great to do it at Blood Brothers, because I'm sure we'll be one of the collabs, which we are. And we just launched this excellent, sound garage, we call it, just east of our retail shop. So it's this really cool, long industrial warehouse space where we're hosting a lot of concerts. And it just makes sense to have it there, because Geary's Clubhouse is in a great location too, on College and Dovercourt, but Geary's it's nuts. It's like the best street. It's the hottest street in Toronto right now. And it's a great location. So I think it's going to be a great fit, and it kind of just worked out. You were like, cool. I don't like beer fest. I'm like, you should like this. You're going to like this one. You're going to create the anti-beer fest for you. The fest you don't want to go to. Sorry, the fest you do want to go to.
You do want to go to. And and at the end of the day, it kind of is like, it's hard to make it an anti-beer fest, but once we get into the details, we can explain how we've made it as optimal as possible for what we, how we like things. So we'll get into that shortly. But when you said that, I was like, I've been in this space of sort of move towards yes. Like if an opportunity is presented and it makes sense, I try to move towards yes, because I feel that's the universe being like, fucking here it is, bro, take it, or or not. And not everything makes sense, but we've worked together with Link Up and other things in the past. I trust you. I know your experience. I know. So I was like, you know what? If Nate and Tiff are down, let's fucking go. And obviously they were both like, hell yeah. Like it was kind of more like, why not? And it was almost more, as long as you're cool to like drive this bus, because we don't know the ins and outs of events, and you're just like, yeah, man, there's no stress. So I think I told you, I was like, I think maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, at the time we might have started ramping up the number of collabs, being like, oh, well, if we do 10, I think we made a list. That's what it was. I think Nate and I made a list of all the possible breweries, and the list was very long. We're like, well, why don't we just ask all of them and see what happens? And then I think I told you like, oh, it might be around 30, and then we kept pitching more, and and I think you were like, oh yeah, I think we could make 30 work, and I think you were a little like, oh, that's a lot of collabs, and then it ended up being like 45, and now we're down to 40. So things didn't work out. Some of them we're going to just do outside of the anniversary. Some of them fell through completely, which happens. So that's usually how it goes. You hit up all, part of the game. So we're like, all right. And we kind of just kept it running from there. I think we had one meeting in 2024 to talk through some of the details, and you got the okay from the brothers and from the team at the brewery that they were down. So then we're like, all right. And then Nate and I basically, since that meeting, we have been people can think about, if you're doing one collab, you're like on emails, maybe you're on a call, you go down to the brewery, and then you go there for brew day, and maybe canning day, and then you do the post, like times that by 40. So we've been like having to have all those conversations, following up with different people, like, hey, are you in or not? Because we're serious about this. And we gave people a fuck ton of notice, like 8-9 months notice, so that they were like, everyone was very appreciative of that too. And the other thing is, we decided to make the release drop. So basically all of the collabs are going to be available at the festival, at the Get It In Your Spectacular, at May 31st at Blood Brothers Sound Garage. GetItInYourFest.com. You can get tickets right now. Early bird tickets are available. And you can use the code. Should we do it now? Say it now. We'll say it throughout. If you use the code POD5, PODFIVE, you get $5 off the ticket, even off the early bird price. Only for the podcast listeners and viewers. So that's for y'all. I'm going to put that up on the screen at 37 minutes. I'm going to write that down, because otherwise I'm going to forget. So basically that's really what we're organizing. And then these beers are all going to get independent releases with the brewery. So the event is like the culmination of 2 months of celebration, which seems like a circle jerk and narcissistic now I say it, but it's not really. It's like with 40 collabs, we can't be like, guys, every single one needs to drop April 15th. Like, it makes no sense.
No, and this was kind of the beauty of of kind of stretching out what we're saying the anniversary is between April and May, like you were describing, like with when the pod initially released, is that allowed it to kind of work with the flexibility of of each collaborating brewery's schedule, which really made a lot more sense, as you say, because if we said like, okay, it needs to be all released within this 1 week period, they would have told us to fuck off. So it was nice to be able to provide the kind of flexibility that made a lot more sense with the scale on which we're organizing this.
Yes.
Totally. Plus, like, different beers, like we're doing a barrel aged beer, like, you've got different natural cycles of beers depending on what you're brewing, right? So if everybody was making the same pale ale, that could make sense to launch at April 15th, but it's like, triple IP, you're doing some crazy shit, and so it makes sense to just have it ready for May 31st. When you have it ready, it doesn't really matter.
No, the only caveat to that we said for people, that's exactly right. So like, they're basically, there's going to be drops all the way through the month. We haven't locked in all the dates yet, but my guess is they're going to be pretty evenly spread. We asked the breweries, preferably for anything that's hoppy, let's push it towards May, preferably around mid-May, so that the beers are as fresh as possible for May 31st. So it's like, it's not the end of the world, because we do have a hoppy beer dropping in April. but it's a part of another event for breweries. So we've got a few that are involved in that, which is exciting too, because some of them timed up with some other breweries like anniversary drops, as we were just talking about, or other sort of, a group of events. So that was the only thing. We tried to get the hoppy beer so they're as fresh as possible for the event, because obviously we have, funnily enough, once we get into some of the beers, like the main style we're having is West Coast IPAs. It's not, unless you combine haze, like single IPA and double IPA, those would be the most. But the single biggest category is West Coast. That's how much we love Westies. God damn it, it's a beautiful thing. So yes, with that, so is that so that's basically the story. And since then, we've just been working on a lot of the collabs. We've had meetings. Eric has been chatting with the GM and the brothers and the team at Blood Brothers, and drilling down all the details to make this as efficient as possible. So I'm thinking, should we get into the next beer?
We should, yeah. Now that you've like, now that we've dropped kind of the big, like the stake of it, let's say, let's crack the next beer before we drill down on the details.
The next part, yes. So Erica, which one should we do next?
Let's do Autopop Cherry Cola Session Sour, 4%. We just released this. We do it every springtime. We just get a nice little sexy glow up to the label.
Yeah.
We've also rebranded. We've revamped our actual logo. If you notice, the font is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Not that it
I did notice that.
It's
That's
just
great.
I don't know. There's something just nice about it. It's a little
clean.
nostalgic. It's clean. Yeah, it's nice. So it's solid. So obviously the hand and the actual image stayed, but the font we just kind of modified a bit. Dylan is our full-time in-house designer. Just incredible work. Yeah, Dylan's just rocking the design. He's been there for a couple of years. So yeah, the Autopop series is a full-time series. We switch it up every season-ish. We're about to launch into a passion fruit one. Then we have an orange crush. It's a lot of just like fun cola 90s nostalgic flavors with our Autopop series. We do a Tahiti treat. We do a Concord grape. We do, obviously cherry cola, and just have fun with flavors.
That's awesome. Yeah, this is a bang. I haven't had this one for a little bit. I love cherry cola. Is just like a real fun flavor profile for a sour as well.
Yeah,
which is
cool.
Great.
It's nice. There's nothing in the LCBO like it. The folks at headquarters are very excited to bring this one in, just because they love innovative products. They love different products. They love, seeing innovation in the craft beer industry, and that's why the LCBO is great for that that seasonal program kind of vibe for breweries. So yeah, we have this for about 3 or 4 months at the LCBO, and we just launched it a couple weeks ago. It's in about 75 stores and growing. So
dope.
Look for it. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
I got my vintage glass.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Some good branding, like can glasses. Love them. Oh God, this is so tight. I forgot how
it's nice.
Tart this is. Yeah, this is awesome. Only 4% is spectacular. Yeah, it's got cherry. Yeah, cherry and cola, I guess.
Yeah.
Actual cherry in it as well.
Yeah, nice natural cherry in there. And then we have a little bit of wheat in it, just to kind of smooth it out. And it sells great. So it's obviously at Geary at our brewery. We've got it on tap around the province. You said your buddy had it at Beertown and Whitby. And it's across. It's at LCBO and any convenience stores that want to buy it. Crazy, crazy world of convenience.
Which is kind of bonkers. But love that you can get beers of this quality at, once again, beers that, like pre-COVID. That's one of the upsides, aside from the independent beer stores that we've shitted on about a lot on this pod. The other side is the just the sheer quality of Ontario craft beer you can get now at easily accessible at LCBOs, at convenience, at all these different places. Like, you could, bro, getting Blood Brother. I remember when Scott first showed me Guilty Remnant in like 2016, 17, something like that.
Yeah.
And like he'd been telling me about it for like 6 months. I lived in Montreal, so he was like, I didn't get to try it, and like I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And you had to go to the Geary pub, and like it's hard to get to for if you didn't have a car, type of thing, that type of joint. Now
and it was in a 500 ml bottle at the time, and
with a little beige tag with the little elastic around it. And
oh yeah,
super cute. I actually remember, I think probably 9 years ago now, 8 years ago. So Geary Avenue is like the post, like another location. They opened on Westmoreland, just around the bend. And I remember walking in and there was these like sneaky signs, and it was part of like a unit of a bunch of different vendors. There's probably like a photography studio and like an artist nook and all sorts of different folks. And you would like, it said Blood Brothers on this little chalkboard sign, and you walk down the hallway. And I remember showing up and
Speakeasy.
I don't even know, it was like a room. It was like a big room. And I remember Dustin and Braden were there, and they had rejigged the deep freezer to be fridge temperature, and there was no draft taps. They opened up the deep freezer and gave me samples from a 500 ml bottle that they were just like storing in a deep freezer turned refrigerator. And then you could just buy bottles to go. Like, it was just like a little tiny operation, and it was so special. And I know White Lies was there. I think Guilty was probably there. Like, that Guilty's such a great like OG recipe for them. And yeah, Guilty, we're just phasing out Guilty at the LCBO now. We had the biggest volume and the biggest store distribution this year of Guilty. It just keeps on growing. Like, folks just are so blown away by it because it's such a mind fuck, right? It's a white stout, and the majority of people are like, what the fuck? And then it's got coffee and lactose, and it just takes you on a ride. So it's such a cool beer.
It's the best of its style. I don't like that style
yeah.
very much, but I feel like nothing comes close to that one.
Yeah. And it's 6%, so it's not like a crazy strong ABV. And anyway, folks really like it. I think one of the challenges with seasonals is that sometimes it's a one can, one time buy, where people just buy one can to try it, right? Which we're all guilty of. You walk around and you just try the hottest shit. And so I think what we noticed was Guilty was more than a one-time buy. And that's ideally what you'd like to see in seasonals, is people grab it on a Friday, drink it with their buddies over the weekend, and then go back the next week to put it back in their fridge for the next weekend. And so Guilty had a great run as always this winter at LCBO, and then Autopop coming out.
And this is just straight, like it's really tart in a great way, and like the cherries sort of dominate, but the cola's like there nicely in the background. Like, it's really well balanced, and at 4%, this is like this is such a summer crusher, even though it's a winter skew. I guess
it's spring seasonal. Yes, it's okay. Spring seasonal. Yeah, I mean, I think it's neat to have a seasonal at a time that folks aren't always thinking about fruit. I guess it's because it's not a fruity beer. It's a cola beer. It fits well in spring. Spring's always a tough season to try and figure out what seasonal to do. They always say, brew spring beers for the LCBO, like Box. And I'm like, nobody's going to buy a Box. Nobody likes, most people don't drink Box. Like,
they have their market, but for the LCBO.
They have their market. Yeah, maybe one can or a bottle or something. But anyway, so this has been a great beer. And then we're going to switch it up and drop the Orange Crush in the summer.
The next
one. Nice.
Yeah.
Wicked series. Very, very cool. That's so easy, accessible. So I love it. Okay, so basically that's where we've really been at. So maybe we could talk about like the details of the event, and then the last thing we can talk about the breweries that are involved, since they've already kind of been announced. So we can give some, because some of them we haven't locked in names for. Most of them we have, and some of them we're still even waiting a little bit to like push, because they can push pretty late. It's to the last minute to brew, particularly if it's haze only takes a few weeks. But as far as the event, so it's going to be exclusively in the Sound Garage, which is, so it's not in the rest of the Blood Brothers facility, not in the tap room or anything, like just in the event room. Yep. One of the things we wanted to make sure that it was as comfortable as possible. With 40 collabs, obviously there's going to be a bunch of booths with either jockey boxes or cans. It's going to be a mix. We from the Blood Brothers side, which I thought was really cool, we're kind enough to give the breweries the option to go with jockey boxes for pours or for cans, depending on what it is. So, I thought that was super cool, and I felt like they, it seems kind of 50-50 from what I could tell ish.
Yeah, it seems pretty mixed. I mean, I think beer nerds are always pretty like obsessed with draft pours, but at the end of the day, I mean, who knows the quality of a jockey box and how clean it is, and when they were actually cleaned, and the lines and the condition of the line. So, I mean, especially if we're getting shit from Quebec and America and different parts of Ontario, cans are king, and it's going to be great. So we definitely have a
Yeah.
solid amount of cans for sure.
Solid amount of cans.
Yeah.
The jockey boxes are going to be extremely clean. We're not going to.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we have a nice mix of it, and we're going to restrict the sessions to less than what the room capacity is, because we basically don't want lines. We really don't want any lines.
Mhm.
We want to facilitate like quick pours, and it's and just to make sure that people can get their beers as soon as possible. And also, it's not going to be a $100-$150 festival. It's like, I think 25 early bird, $30 main one, and you get the tokens and the glass included in that for the first pour, and then you can just buy tokens as you need. So you can spend and there's going to be stuff for DDs as well. There's some non-alc collabs and some other stuff that we're going to have, which we'll get into. But that, and is there anything else to talk about as far as like the way the event's going to be set up to kind of paint the picture for folks?
Yeah, I think exactly what you said. The goal is to, with 40 collabs, not necessarily folks are going to be able to drink all 40, but probably a lot of folks will come in looking to drink a lot of these incredible beers that we've curated. So, again, trying to keep these lines at a minimum. We're going to have a solid team of volunteers. So volunteers that are going to have some good, solid beer knowledge of the pours. We're going to have a printout program of the beers that you can check off, play as you go. And, just make sure that we have maybe one person for every 5 or 6 beers, so that we keep things moving and make sure that you can try as much as you possibly can. So yeah, DJ on stage. We're going to have a great food. We're going to do food with Blood Brothers because we have a great kitchen.
And the food options, just to paint the picture, what kind of options are there for the food?
Good question. We have mostly,
is that a decision for later?
Yeah, maybe for later. I mean, we do great barbecue, but I'm not sure if it'll translate over to the event space. So we'll have to. Anyway, can we do?
There'll be a special menu for it. Sorry, I put you on the spot.
That's okay. Yeah.
Because I know we're recording this, and there's still some elements that we haven't locked in yet, and that's probably more for a meeting than for this. But I was just curious. So there will be some food, and we also have the DJ is a good friend of ours named DJ T Junior. I've known her for almost 10 years actually, and we met her when she was first starting out, and now she won there's something called the DMC Championships, which is basically the world. It's like I've been to it in Australia. They have them in every country. So she was the Canadian champion 3 years in a row, and from Toronto. She's the fucking best. Like, he's in like DJ skills, like juggling, scratching and stuff. She's a beast, and she's a hustler too. I respect her immensely. So she's, is coming through and gonna like curate some great music for the event and stuff. So very grateful that she's gonna be there for the sessions. And then on top of the Blood Brothers food, we have the DJ, and we're also gonna have another company that we discovered last year called A Cookie Called Quest, which is obviously there's some hip hop themes here. Being a rap dude, and this podcast has always kind of been about that. I don't know if I haven't even really told probably either of you guys that much about it, but this dude, there's a rap group called A Tribe Called Quest, so he's called A Cookie Called Quest, and he makes these amazing. I think they're all vegan cookies as well, and they're incredibly tasty, and they're all kind of like named after like either hip hop songs or groups and stuff like that, and they're very clever. He did a great pop-up. We actually recommended him for a link-up event at Bellwoods we just missed it. It was like February 1st for their export stout, and he killed it. And now he's doing a cookie collab with Bellwoods for their Motley Crue release in April, which is super for their anniversary. So I'm very happy to see that relationship blossom. And he does so many different types. I was like, oh man, we got some great beers that could really pair well with the cookies if they have some great, savory food from Blood Brothers in-house stuff, which is obviously fire. Then there's something additional here, and it's like it just really played into the theme, and it's perfect. So I'm very happy that he's going to be there. So his name's Kamar, so he's a champion. So I'm very happy that he's going to be there. And then the beers so that's really the event, and we're going to cap it so that it's, once again, we could add more people, but we're not going to, because that's the intent. We want it to be smooth, efficient, get your fucking beers, with minimal wait time. Like that's really what we're trying to do and facilitate a lot of, we're hoping a lot of, go on it.
and have it be comfortable, like not the kind of thing where you feel like you need to down your sample and then hop in the back of a line again. Like, we wanted it to be like an enjoyable experience where you can get the beers that you want, like comfortably chat with your friends that that are there. You're not feeling like you're you're shoulder to shoulder with with everyone else there, and just kind of like moving as a group. Like, we want this to be a fun experience.
Yes,
Yeah, I
exactly
agree.
right.
I agree. And I think, this is basically the fest that you guys want, right? And I think it's the right way to do it.
Exactly.
We've all been to those festivals and they're fun for sure, but like they're also slightly stressful, and it really promotes like just crushing beers and not necessarily like
Yeah.
taking a few minutes and enjoying them. And I think the whole like ethos of what you've created is to like sip and enjoy and talk about and nerd out about beers, right? And so
Yes.
we want people to remember what they're drinking at the end of the day, not just like drink, well, who knows, but not just drink 35 beers and be like, I don't remember any of them because I was too busy having to stress, go back and find. So,
Trying to do
and
it
then
or
the nice
check it
thing
in.
is too, is like the sessions are not that, they're 3 hours each. So you can go to Blood Brothers to our tap room beforehand, have some Blood Light, have an inner eye, have a Shumei, do whatever you need to do, have a little pre-drink, or there's obviously great bars on Geary, but do your thing and then come to the festival, or vice versa. Go to the festival and then head over to the tap room after, grab some beers to go, sit at a park, do your thing. So obviously the festival's meant to be this amazing experience, and then you're still at Blood Brothers, you're still on Geary to still like have a night, or an
that's
afternoon.
a great note. That's a great
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a really great point.
Mhm.
The other thing on top of that, so yes, the tap room will be open as normal so that you can go there before or after, which is super key.
Mhm.
The other thing to really put this was intended, it's not just about us, but like to be a celebration of craft beer, whether it's Ontario craft beer, Quebec, Canadian craft beer, just craft beer in general. Kind of what you were saying before, Erica, that there hasn't been that many festivals. A lot of them have gone, understandably so. They're expensive to put on. The attendance has been lower. People got used to not going to them during COVID, so it kind of like there isn't that much. And whilst I sort of hesitate to call it a festival, that's the closest kind of word that we have to describe what the experience is, or it's like a massive tap takeover in an event space that we brought the taps with us. But it's we really trying to celebrate craft beer, and you nailed it when you're saying that we want people to remember the beer. So all of the collabs that we did were breweries that Nate and I and Tiff very much respect and admire. We made sure that we pitched them when we came up to every brewery. When we reached out, we wanted to do beers that brewery does well, as opposed to sometimes change it up a little bit, put out a little spin on it or whatever, but we wanted to make sure that the collabs we were doing sort of play to the brewery's strengths. And sometimes it is out of I'd have to probably come to some of the examples when we actually talk about it shortly. Maybe we can find some, but for the most part it's really playing to the strength. Like you mentioned, for Blood Brothers, we're doing a barrel aged pastry stout, which I'm super excited about, like blending it and then adding conditioning it on some stuff, which is super
and
fun.
If I can just add to that, like, it's a lot of it is what, like, the kind of styles that we love most from each of these breweries. And like this was kind of the idea. Like you were saying, we're coming to a lot of breweries that we have a ton of respect for, that have been big drivers of our interest in the scene, and all of this. And we just kind of wanted them to have a light shone on them all together in one space, and to kind of really just shine a light on everything that we love about these breweries in this great scene.
Amen.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, when you go to beer festivals, obviously there's exceptions, but a lot of them are two people with a tent and a table with some great beers, but none of them are collabs, and none of them are exceptional collabs like this. So I think we're just trying to create this really intimate boutique festival that is a little bit different, right? You're going to experience a Blood Brothers beer at Blood Brothers, which is obviously great. And then you're going to have literally about 39 other incredible beers from the top breweries in Toronto, or in Ontario, Quebec, and hopefully from the States.
I got a plan.
God willing.
God willing. I have a plan. I'm going to tell you off air. I think I have a way. because of all the crazy stuff that's happening. And yes, on that
I've got
note,
faith. I'm feeling good about it.
I'm feeling good about it too. I'm gonna look either way. I'm gonna make it happen. God damn it! But
Legally, we're gonna make it legally
legally.
happen.
Well, there's no
Yeah.
other way to do it. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
I got Nexus, and I just crossed over. I'm touching wood really bad here. I crossed over 2 days ago and just chatted up the dude, and he didn't even blink when I said how much beer we had. And granted we were gone for a while, but I've got a trip right before the event that I have to go to for like 5 days, and I'm gonna try and time it for that, because then I'm able to bring more back. So I think I'm gonna be good. But to your point, Erica, as far as the beers, these are all collabs, not a single beer that's going to be pouring this event that you can get regularly anywhere. If you wanted to try there's actually 39 beers and a coffee collab, which is pretty crazy. You would have to go to all 39 of those breweries and the cafe to get those products. This is all in one place, so they are going to be available. Like if you're in the beginning of April and whenever something comes out, and you can go get it then, and then it'll be at the event. But there will be like it's one that's what makes this unique, is that all the beers are collabs. They were all thoughtfully curated, and the recipes and a lot of the brews have involved us in so many of the details, like the naming, the label, the fucking the dry hop level and all this type of stuff. Like it's they've been very, very gracious with the how detailed they've been with us. That's the excitement of it. So if you're going to come to the festival, you think, can I get this beer at the LC? Like, no, fam. Like, it's the only place you can get it is at this event at the Sound Garage at Blood Brothers on May 31st. Get it in your fest.com. Use the code POD5, PODFIVE for $5 off. That's the exciting part. I think that's the value prop of this event, is that, and it's also going to be more intimate, because we didn't want the thing where there's a billion people around and it just feels like this weight fest, like you said. And there's going to be lots of spaces to be at a few different stations, to be able to purchase the tokens, so that you can kind of move as swiftly as possible. We just wanted to fucking just go in there, get your shit once you finish. Yeah. And not that crush fest. I don't like the fest where everyone's just downing things, because you inevitably get way too wasted. And I can't remember most of the beers I'd had at festivals. And we want people to remember this stuff, because these are all very, thoughtfully curated and created beers. So that is kind of the intention behind all of that. So that kind of sums up. Was there anything we missed? Does that kind of sum up what the vibe we're trying to get from the event?
I think it does.
Yeah. Erica might frozen.
I think Erica might be frozen there. Yeah.
We can keep chatting for a sec, see if she comes back.
Yeah.
If not, we'll pause, and then we'll bring her back in. But yeah, that is really what we're trying to achieve. And I'm thinking that the sessions are going to be the ones we're going to start with. She'll jump back in a sec. Are 4 to 7, and then 8 till 11 p.m. So we'll have a little gap in between. And if those sell out, we've opened up a potential for an earlier one as well. But we're going to start with those two and see how she all goes. But I know I feel really optimistic about it, because and what happened. This is something I didn't really mention before. Is that when you and I were reaching out to the breweries, we were encouraged, one, by Erica's enthusiasm for the event, which was super cool. And then 2, by the response from the breweries.
Yeah.
For the collabs. We couldn't believe how amped these folks were.
Oh, 100%. And that got us even more excited. As you were saying, and that's part of what helped this to grow so much, because after the first few that we talked to, with them getting so amped about it, then that started to build, along with Erica's involvement, to just be like, you know what? Anyone we've ever wanted to work with on this, we should just reach out. And
that's what we did. And, there were some folks that just didn't fit. And we really respected the fact that they respected us to be like, hey, bad timing, can't really do it right now. Some of them actually were like, oh yeah, we'll do it. Like, oh fuck, actually it's not going to work. Let's do it later. And that's totally fine. So we actually have some other collabs later in the year that we'll just do when the time's right as well. And we were, people were very respectful about it, and they've really I don't know, man. It was so much over and above what either of us thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's been equal parts exciting and daunting and heartwarming, just the whole gamut of emotions that you could feel about about an undertaking this big.
Truly, like I haven't really, because do you know what it is? It's because we're so like heads down in the weeds getting it done. Because obviously, like I said, we've had to have 40 meetings about all of this. Like I went to the cafe, which we'll talk about shortly, and did a tasting, an espresso tasting, to choose the raw beans that we wanted to use for the collab. Here, Eric is jumping back in. There we go. We got you.
There we are.
Sorry.
You're good.
I don't know what
It
happened.
it's okay.
Okay,
It
good.
happens. You're good. Can you hear us? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
You're
All
perfect.
good.
It'll come back. You're a little pixelated,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to come back in. It always kicks back. So no stress. We were just sort of going. We were just saying that it's been very heartwarming for us to have. Can you hear us? Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
have.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, cool. It just froze for a sec. To have your response and how cool, excited you were about it, and all the ideas that you had, and then how excited the breweries were to be involved in it. So it made us be like, all right, well, this is a lot, but everybody seems just down for it, and we're trying to make it kind of like an industry, like, networking event too. So there's people coming.
Mm.
A lot of the breweries are coming from Quebec, from what we understand, and
Yeah.
they'll be able to show face. There's a few folks that they've got commitments already. Some of them have told us they have to be in Europe for some other festival, because we know we did it on purpose on May 31st, so it's as close to summer as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. So the people are ready to go out. Weather's going to be good, type shit. So that being said, that means there's other events that are happening, and sometimes people have commitments, and that's okay. But we're trying to get as many of the industry folks there. So also for the punters, as we say in Australia, just the drinkers coming through to check it out. Hopefully they'll be able to meet a bunch of the brewers that are involved. That maybe you've wanted to say hi to, because they're going to be out here hanging out at the different sessions and stuff. And we're super excited to host them and to have everybody there, and just to. Yeah, once again, celebration of craft beer. I really think that's
Yes.
celebrating BAOS 10 years and being excited about that, which is awesome, and we're really happy that it's lasted this long, and it's people support us and want to be that all of you guys listen and watch and all that. It's fucking amazing. But also to celebrate craft beer, man, because we're fans. We did this because the three of us are just fans of craft beer too, right?
Yeah, that's what that's what it's about, because we obviously wouldn't be doing this podcast if there wasn't this amazing craft beer scene. We got into it for a reason. We love it so much for a reason. We love the people in the scene for a reason. So it's going to be a celebration of that for everyone there.
Yeah,
Totally.
definitely.
And I think that sometimes all these breweries it's hard, right? You keep having to pivot with pandemics and tariffs and, new retail channels and this is just Ontario specific I'm talking, but it's a lot to kind of continue to figure out the best way to sell your beer, the best styles, what's going to sell, what's not, how to price it, the coolest branding, like just everything, right? It's always changing and always dynamic, and it's exhausting, and I think everybody lives in their bubble. We obviously all talk to each other, and the majority of breweries are all kind of friendly or friends with each other, but you are still, as a small business owner, it's isolating. It can be lonely, and you chug along every day, and it's hard. And so I think it'd be nice to have a lot of folks from the industry come together. We don't see each other as much as we used to. And excuse me, to have like a great day, a great night of celebrating great craft beer, and also celebrating and thanking you both and Tiffany for all of the incredible marketing, promotion, positive vibes that you've spread about our products, right? About our brand, about our brewery. Like, you're kind of the last people standing ish in the industry that are being loud and vocal and cheerleaders for what we do, right? There's definitely pockets of people doing stuff for sure, and everybody's doing great work, but you're really loud and in people's face, and I mean that in a positive way. And I think we need that, right? We need that, like that kind of positive messaging out there. Does that make sense?
That's very kind. Yes, no,
Yeah.
we
Yes,
appreciate
thank
that
you
a
so
lot.
much for that.
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
welcome.
we that's really nice to hear, because sometimes it feels like, I don't know, like we're doing it because we want to do it, we believe in the industry, right? Like,
Mhm.
and we really love this stuff, but yeah, it does feel like we're the last one standing. A lot of our friends have stopped, making beer content. A lot of Instagrammers aren't doing it.
Mhm.
Bloggers aren't doing it anymore like they used to. And I know the
Mhm.
beer is, on a bit of when there was that period, 2017, 18, where fucking everything was popping, everyone was excited. And, it's, I guess people move on. It is alcohol. It can take a toll on people's bodies. So we're obviously very aware of that. But I don't know, it's the people, because we talk to the folks behind everything and that are involved in it. And everyone's so cool, as of course, better than us. It's just like, how can you sort of not? And, this doesn't exist. We're not exactly making money from this, like from maybe contrary to what people might think. Like this is like a side hustle and essentially a passion project at this point that we just want to keep going. And it's great. It feels like we're doing something of value and that it's supporting an industry that we believe in, that we think is important, that, at these community hubs that breweries are important to be around, to give people a place for people to congregate and to talk and to just do things. It's important. So I appreciate that. We're excited that we're still around and that people, like, once again, even give a shit enough to want to do the collabs, and that hopefully will want to come to the event as well, that we're doing the best. We're going to make it as best as we possibly can and make it as fire, the type of environment that we would like to be in. So it's super, super cool. So with that, should we get into the last beer in a sec? And then I was just trying to pull up I was trying to find, I didn't think I saved the latest flyer, because when we read through all of the what do you call it? Here it is. When we read through all of the names in our spreadsheet, it's not in order. Like it's not
Nah.
Where F is it? I'm saving it.
It's a hodgepodge.
Yeah, I was just trying to do it in like alphabetical order. Here we go. Okay, I got it. All right, so the next beer, do we just say what it was?
No, not yet. I have sneakily shown it. It's Paradise Lost, another year-round sour series from Blood Brothers. This is a bigger, bolder sour series, 6% typically. And we rotate again through some incredible flavor variations. So we just launched Peach Mango. Super grateful to the LCBO team. They've allowed us a second spring seasonal SKU. So we launched Cherry Cola and Peach Mango the same week. Usually it's based on, success at the LCBO. The more you sell, the more focused you are, the harder you're hustling and showing the LCBO you're really passionate about working with them. They'll kind of like reward you, so to speak, with additional SKUs. So very grateful for that. And 6%. We launched a couple Paradise Lost a couple years ago at the LCBO. Citrus 5 was a 6-month spring summer, and then Spice Cherry was a 6-month fall winter. And we had it at $6.50 because that was the price that we needed to price it at back then. And it did well. It was definitely like a boutique small batch kind of release for LCBO. It wasn't that sell through that like cheaper, more cost effective beers have, but it did really well. It did, it was solid. But now we've dropped it to $5.50. So we dropped it a whole $1. So this is now $5.50 at the LCBO, Peach Mango. And I think that's actually the only Paradise Lost we're going to release for the year at the LCBO. Is just Peach Mango. So just nice, juicy, a little bit higher alcohol ABV there. Obviously all natural peach, all natural mango. And should I do that too?
Yeah, it should.
Absolutely.
I haven't had this one, so I want to review it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all, this is like actual peach and mango juice in this one, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. All purees, and then a little bit of wheat in there as well. So again, a nice label glow up from Dylan and tasting awesome.
Sick.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And then we release future ones. They're not going in the LCBO, but they sell great on draft and at our brewery and all that good stuff. So yay.
I love it. This is such a great series.
So good.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So guava pineapples coming on the pipeline. We just did blueberry vanilla spice. We just did spice cherry, like just some incredible flavor combos coming out with the Paradise Lost.
Blueberry vanilla spice I had a few years back at Bar Lupulus, and it's so fucking good.
So good.
That is just a dessert right there. It's so good.
Totally. And I always
by the way, this is awesome. Yeah. So, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No. It's all you. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like this here is straight fruit juice. It's like it's not even the most sour Paradise Lost that I've had. Like I've definitely had guava a couple of times, and like that one is puckering. Like that one is super sour, because I mean guava naturally is. Like this is on a sour scale, this is pretty tame. Like this is really straight peach and mango juice,
which are just such sweet fruits, right? So it's like it really cuts a lot of that sour acidic flavor profile for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
going great. And yeah, I think, I'm not always one to gravitate towards sours, to be totally honest, but when it comes to like, nice juicy fruits or like nothing too high ABV, these ones are perfect. So it's awesome.
Yeah. It's such a great series. I always feel like that there's nary a Paradise Lost that I don't really heavily fucks with. Like it's really it's just such a cool one, and it's a wicked one to have in the LCBO as well. Like I feel like it's just it's such a banger. And this is like two phenomenal summer fruits, and I feel like, I don't know, touch wood again, the weather's been relatively decent, so hopefully we're moving into spring type vibes pretty soon, and this gives me so much spring. Like you know what I mean, like peach and mango, like it's kind of
big time
summery.
There's something about those berry ones too, like the blueberry and the I know it's not a berry, but like the cherry ones too. Just the like the thick dark colors, like the like just kind of like the thick purple or the thick dark red, like and whatnot. Just visually, they're very appealing too.
So appealing, yeah. They're just beautiful beers,
yeah, very much so.
It's cool. I mean, I think Blood Brothers, it's tough because it's almost like round peg in a square hole at LCBO. You're trying to figure out. We're like a boutique small batch brewery trying to figure out how to best work a channel that has 600 plus stores, and our prices are always a little more premium than other breweries. Our quality is more premium than other breweries, but we also we really do believe in that LCBO channel. So like, how do you find that balance, right? Of putting great products in the LCBO, but also not pricing them too high, making sure that they're going to sell once they're on the shelf, that they're styles that the kind of the general public are going to enjoy. It's always kind of an interesting game of trying to figure out what's the best play, It's fun.
Yeah, I can totally imagine. I feel like Blood Brothers does have the rep of, being a high quality Toronto brewery, so I feel like people it's like, if you were newer to craft beer when in your price conscious, then maybe you might not understand the value the value prop, but I feel like once you know, you're like, oh, okay, it's almost like with most things, the more you pay, the higher the quality, and
absolutely, yeah,
kind of is what it is.
For sure.
It's known, but yeah, very happy to see these widely available, and it's just always a pleasure to crush these ones. It's glorious. I love it. So 3 great Blood Brothers breweries, beers that we've had tonight. Once again, all 3 of these are available at LCBOs, basically all over the province for the most part, right?
Yep, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, so you should be very easily able to get that. And you won't be able to try these at the event, but you will at the Blood Brothers tap room, literally right next door to the Get It In Your Spectacular, May 31st at Sound Garage of Blood Brothers. GetItInYourFest.com, POD5, PODFIVE for the code. Now, okay, so the next part really is all these times, so I keep noting it. Is the next part is really just going through some of the breweries and kind of the beers that you can expect. When I say you, I mean the folks can expect here. So I'm looking at the flyer that we have, which will be out now, and so maybe we'll just go through. This is like in sort of alphabetical, numerical order to make it a bit easier rather than our spreadsheet. So we have a mix of breweries from Ontario. The vast majority, probably 75%, are from Ontario. We have a bunch from Quebec. We have one from New York State and one from Texas that I'm going to personally bring over the border legally for this. So the first one is Quatre Origines, or Four Origins, out of Montreal, Quebec. And for that one, which is exciting, have you had any of their stuff, Erica?
I don't think so.
Nothing. Okay, well, you will
I
very
wish.
soon.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, they're fantastic. We're doing a great West Coast Pilsner with them, which is super cool. Should we say the beer names for this one? Because some of them we have names, or should we hold the names off? Maybe.
I don't know.
I would say let's hold the names since we don't since we don't have them for all of them, so it might be a bit disjointed. But but I think it's pretty safe to announce the styles.
Okay, I like that. So West Coast Pills, super cool. These guys are known. They do a lot of crispies. What else would you say Cat Origin's known for?
Like I would say they're definitely known for like for Westies and definitely known for lagers.
Westies,
And if our friend Noah Forrest of Beerism would say that they have a distinctive yeast character that's that's very specific to them.
It's a great call. Yeah, Westies, exactly. And this is why we came to a West Coast Pilsner, because we like the Westies and we love the crispies. So we brought that together. So that's going to slap.
Do you want to go? Do you want to go back and forth as we kind of cycle through these?
Yeah.
We'll probably have to go.
Do you have them?
Well,
we'll go.
Yes,
quick.
I do. I've got it. I've got it right in front of me too.
And Erica can jump in from anything that if there's any of these breweries that you're aware of or know anything about. Jump in with any thoughts.
So next up, longtime friend of the show, Cinquième Baron from Aylmer, Quebec. And for them, we are doing an all centennial classic West Coast IPA, which is going to be a banger.
It's a bit of an ode to a to one of the American faves. If you're really familiar, being in the game for a bit, you'll know what we're talking about. Maybe we'll keep that chill for now. If you know, all centennial West Coast IPA around 7%. You know,
yeah.
Think about that. Beautiful. Next one. Coming into Prince Edward County are All My Friends. We are you familiar with them?
Yeah, I haven't been yet, but I love their beer. Yeah.
Yes, they have. I haven't been either. I'm going to go for either the brew day or something like that. But yeah, we're doing the big thing that got popping in 2024 was terpene beers. One of the great ones was Third Moon and Blood Brothers did a collab, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, was it All My Friends and Blood Brothers? Yeah, it was All My Friends and Blood Brothers. With the
Yes, it was. Yes, it
The-
was.
oh my-
With
the-
it was an over. It was an over the tap one that they did the Blackberry
Buds.
Kush one.
yes,
Yes.
that shit-
Sorry.
No,
Yes.
Buds was with Third Moon.
What was that? What was the
Blackberry
Blood Brothers
Kush was the one with was
Oh, it was
the
just
one with
called
Blood
Blackberry
Brothers.
Kush. I'm sorry,
Yes,
I
it
thought
was.
you meant
Yes,
Kush.
it was.
Okay. Their terpene beers, I feel like they were like the leaders of terpene in 2024. So we are doing a terpene beer also with Blackberry Kush and some fun hops. And that's going to drop on, I guess we could say, should we say when it's
Yeah,
gonna
why
drop?
not?
I don't want to fuck it up. That's going to drop on 420, of course. All my friends are having a nice event with a bunch of terpene beers. So we're going to be a part of that, which we're super excited about. Boom.
Yeah. Next up, head to London, Ontario. I'm really excited about this one. Anderson Craft Ales.
Yes.
And this one is going to be a double West Coast IPA, which is it's basically going to be a double of their flagship IPA, which and I fucking love their flagship IPA, and I'm really excited for it to be ramped up to a double.
Yeah, we tried to do that a few times. Have you been out to Anderson, Erica?
Years ago. Yeah, years ago. I now live in Kitchener, Waterloo, so it's so close to me.
You're pretty close.
I was at Forked River on Saturday, so I need to go back and head to Anderson.
How
Forked River was
far-
great. Oh,
Yeah, I've never been. How
It was
far
so
is
nice.
London from Kitchener? Like an hour?
it's so great. It's like it was an hour. It was literally 60 minutes. It was we didn't go on the 401. It was like a nice farm drive. It was
Nice.
Oh,
awesome.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And coming from Toronto,
Okay.
we would never Toronto's too far to go to lunch.
No, it's way too far.
Especially with little kids. But like Kitchener, Waterloo, no problem. An hour. Great.
Okay, I was
Yeah,
hoping
it was
Hamilton would be similar as well because I want to get out there. Okay,
Maybe
sick.
90 minutes. Maybe
Yeah,
a
that's
little.
not so bad. Okay,
Yeah,
well, love that.
it'll be okay.
I
Yeah.
love it. It's awesome. Next, of course, was not going to be our anniversary if we didn't have a collab with Badlands. So
Yeah.
Troy's the fucking man. We're doing obviously a nice. I think we're doing a double IPA actually.
We
with
are doing a
Badlands,
double
which-
IPA, which I'm very stoked for.
which was
I
more of that was for Nate.
That was
me
for
and
Nate.
Troy we were more of the single IPA. Nate wanted that, so we're like, all right, buddy, you can have it. All righty. So Nate got his way and we got that. So we're going to double. I forgot what the hops are. I didn't actually write it down here. Now I'm looking. We should put it in the spreadsheet.
It's definitely a big New Zealand joint. We can say that
New
much.
Zealand. There you go. So yes, obviously there's going to be some fucking like top tier haze involved in this. Yes.
Okay. Next up, going to Bellwoods, which is a brewery very near and dear to our hearts in terms of like our interest in the early days of craft beer in Ontario. Well, at least the early days of hype craft beer in Ontario, and a particular beer series which is
be vague.
which is very near and dear to our hearts as well. Why don't you go ahead, because this is a big one for you.
This okay. If you listen to, I'm gonna be vague as fuck. Thank you. You can do the next one. If you've been listening to the pod or been following me in any shape or form, you know that this is my favorite beer series of all time. And when we pitched this to them, I was like praying to the beer gods that they would say yes, and they did. So we're doing a variant of the greatest beer series of all time, in my humble opinion, that may or may not feature milk sugar, and it's modeled after an Australian dessert. And I can't believe it's the first collab they've done in this series. So I can't even express how gassed I am that we're doing this. Yeah, it's like shouts to Mario who made it happen. But yeah, very excited for that. It's they just released another version of it recently, and they haven't for a while. And I kind of feel like it might be to warm it up, because they hadn't done it. So I would think that was my assumption without knowing. I would feel like unless they had it already planned, which they may have, they probably planned far out. But yeah, it's that one's pretty big. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, Bellwoods is like, just incredible. What they've done in the last 10 years is just nuts. I used to live on that street on Argyle, that little side street. And I remember walking over day 1, day 2 of the brew pub being open and being like, what is this thing? This was like, what, 2012 or some shit? 2011. Yeah. And just being blown away from the get-go, right? I still remember eating those funky olives. I still remember eating Parmesan fries, like pretending I'm cool and fancy.
Bone marrow. They had bone marrow.
Oh yeah. I think I had what's it called? Something head cheese. Like, I don't know, just like stuff that I never have had before. So I like obviously experienced like really cool new foods, but like just a beautiful drinking and eating environment, and what they've, grown to be while still maintaining that quality is just excellent. So I love Bellwoods. They're great.
You truly can't overstate the influence they have.
Absolutely.
And on the scene in this province.
Absolutely.
Okay. Next up, Greg, go.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to do this one even though I just did the last one? That's cool.
Well, I started it. You just teased the style, but yes, keep going.
Okay, cool. So this is next one is Bickford, a new brewery on Harvard Street. Are you familiar with them, Erica?
I just popped in. It was cute. It was great.
Oh, it was sick. Okay, I'm
jealous. Yeah. And then I just saw them at the Steam Whistle Roundhouse Fest.
Awesome.
Yeah, great people. Super nice.
Okay, amazing. So yeah, Andrew's the man. I met him at the OCB. Finally, he'd sent me some beer in Montreal before, and great dude. Excited for him that he opened the space. We're doing a super fun beer. We're doing a nitro, like low ABV stout, which features the coffee beans that I was talking about before, which we'll go into when we get to the letter that they're at. So we're doing the coffee bean collab, and we're trying to use the coffee beans in as many beers as possible. This is one, and we're doing it on nitro, and he's specifically bringing a nitro jockey box to the event so that we can pour that one on nitro, which is fucking cool. And at his brewery, he's going to actually launch a cask version of it too. So he's going to do a nitro version and then a cask version. So Andrew's been super fun, like giving us the full like beer
experience.
Oh man, the
level of gravity, like
the level of detail that he went to in the recipe was like the most I've ever seen. It's wild.
Yeah. He's so awesome. Great. He's been very, very cool. We have to get him on the pod, but yeah.
And it was like True History kind of opened 3-4 years, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, and it was like this is a cool brewery on St. Clair. What is going on? And then these guys just kind of like sneakily opened recently, and it's so neat because there's kind of been a bit of a standstill of new breweries, especially in the GTA opening, and so to have some new players is just so nice to see, and hopefully they do well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Very cool. Nate, next
up is in Erica's neck of the woods, Block 3.
Right.
from St. Jacobs.
Yeah.
And this is going to be dope because they make some fantastic lagers, and this one is going to be like a low ABV crusher. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and we had them on the pod,
Awesome.
I think last year or the year before, and their lagers blew my mind. I couldn't believe how
Yeah.
good they were. So we're very
Aw.
excited to do a crispy with them. Like so good.
Oh yeah.
Love it. I
Good.
might even let Erica talk about this next one. We're looking at bees.
Oh, Blood Brothers. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got a great I was like, what's after BLO? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah, we're doing well, you need to talk about it because it's your Aussie influence with the style, but it's a barrel-aged stout, high ABV. And we were just thinking about how to create a unique version of it. And there's a special Australian dessert that is near and dear to your heart, good nostalgic dessert called a lamington. And you can take it away from there.
Yes. We're
Yeah.
going to I guess fuck it, yeah, we can say so basically like a lamington's like a sponge cake, like a vanilla sponge cake with raspberry or strawberry in the middle, covered in chocolate, then covered in desiccated coconut. So we're gonna have vanilla, raspberry, coconut, and chocolate in a nice barrel-aged blend. So I'm gonna come down see Uncle Paddy and we'll do a nice little blend. And then we'll condition it on some thing, and we'll do a little ode to the Lamo. The old Aussie Lamo, which is super fun. And like honestly, the Blood Brothers, like obviously your crispies are killer, the sours are fire, the haze is fire, and your barrel age program is just fucking bonkers.
Mint.
So our pitch when we pitched it to you and to the team was we wanted to do a barrel aged beer with Blood Brothers. That was what we were super excited about. So the fact that Paddy's down for that was we were amped. So very stupid excited for that because to be able to create that is just it's so good. So that's gonna be a banger.
Yeah,
I love
that
it.
one. Like folks are gonna be stoked for that one.
I'm ready. I love it.
So
Nate.
Next up, we're going to Quebec, and this is a big one. Brewski, which is fucking dope and very well timed as they are also celebrating their 10th anniversary this year. So this is going to be a joint 10-year collab. And what we're looking at very appropriately is from their brew cake series. Yes. So it's going to be a 10th birthday massive brew cake
with 10 ingredients.
Yes,
which
for those who don't know is their big like huge adjunct laden pastry sour.
It's going to be pretty bonkers. I'm not sure what the ABV is, but it's going to be a banger. So very excited. Derek is a fucking genius. So shout out to Brucey. Next one. So this is one of the ones from the States. So I was doing a pod with a brewery that I discovered last year during my Buffalo visits called Celestial Beer Works in Dallas, Texas. And they were so awesome. They had just, funnily enough, done a collab with Third Moon for their Halloween release. And we were talking about it afterwards, and I was like, guys, would you be down? They were immediately like, fuck yes, let's go. And they're a husband and wife team, the coolest shit. So we're doing a big double IPA. I guess I can just say it with peacherine, because basically the big thing is we can get peacherine in as many beers as possible. That's what we're trying to do. Yeah. So yes, very excited for that because Celestial, incredible. And the other thing I forgot to mention, the theme for a lot of these beers, when we were talking to the brew, they were like, hey, is there any themes that you're doing? And the themes that you may have noticed there is kind of like we're leaning into the Aussie thing. That's what we've done in the past in the collabs with the names and things like that and the concept. So like the concept for the Blood Brothers collab of an Aussie dessert, or the Bellwoods collab Aussie dessert. My camera just died. Oh, wow. Why did it have to look at me? I look lit. Goodbye. Nice
face.
I know, right? Yours was funny too. You did like a pucker.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Yeah, yours was great. The idea is to try and keep it as there's a few things: Aussie desserts, peacherine, and Aussie sayings or funny names for some of the names of the beers. So that's really what we've been trying to leverage, which to try and not all of them are going to have that, but a bunch of them will, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Next.
All right. Next up is Clifford.
Yes.
One of our faves in Ontario for brewing kind of like pretty traditional styles, really, really superbly. Really great lagers, like their porter is unmatched.
Goated.
That like their ESB like just mint.
Yeah.
And what we're doing. So this is one which is this is one of the only ones which is like kind of a re-release of an existing beer that they had, but in a slightly different format. Basically, what it is going to be is their English mild, which is usually canned on nitro. This one will be straight carb.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a twist on their fantastic English mild.
Yeah, which we're excited about. So the other thing we were trying to do, and obviously, Erica, this probably speaks to your side, that we were trying to have an eclectic tap list that was not biased towards, I mean, obviously it's a little bit biased towards some haze and Westies, which you'll see as we go, but to be a nice balanced tap list. So there's plenty of lagers, there's plenty of like dark beers, there's, you know, sours, IPAs, like a bit of everything. And we didn't even intend it. Once we did like a tally of what we had, we're like, oh wow, this is actually pretty good. Obviously the people who are attending are going to want more haze, so we've got more of that, but
but it's not like the 90% that you might see at some festivals. It's actually quite a good quite a good mix.
I agree. Yeah, it's good variation from what I've seen.
Which is nice, which is the intention. It just kind of happened that way. Next up, Counterpart, which was our brewery of the year for Ontario for 2024.
Yes,
Counterpart are just fucking dominating. Greg is the man. The whole team is killing it. So at this particular moment, we are tossing up between a double IPA and a triple IPA. I'm thinking it'll probably lean more towards the double. We don't have a triple for the thing, so we're not too sure.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Oh, well, I guess we'll get to that. Okay. Thank you. Either way, we're probably doing a double IPA with them, and Counterpart's haze is exceptional. So we weren't sure whether to do that or to do maybe some of their barrel aged stuff, but I'm thinking we're going to lean towards the haze for this one, which is very exciting.
TBD, but something
TBD. Exactly. It's going to be delicious.
That's right.
Next up, Nathaniel.
Next up is the other Ontario Counter P brewery, Counterpoint.
Which is
yes, for anyone who's ever mistakenly tagged one or two of those breweries in a post about the other one's beers, I've done it like 3 or 4 times at least. Yes, so we've got Counterpoint. Shouts to Graham on here as well. Really excited to have him on board. And this is the second terpene beer on the list. And this one is going to be a low ABV terpene Westy Pale Ale, which is really exciting. I'm sure it's going to be dope.
Totally.
They're just moving. I was speaking
they are.
to Graham.
I know.
Yeah, I was really excited that he was still down to do this. We obviously were like very considerate of the fact that he that he's moving locations. Dude, if this is too much to take on right now, we totally understand. Like, don't want to be putting too much pressure on you, but no, he was insistent that he was still down for it, which we were so appreciative of.
Yeah,
big time. Such a good guy.
Yeah. Champion. I guess are they pretty close to you? Like the new spot? He said the new spot.
Yeah. I go there. I haven't been to his new location. I generally know where it is. It's basically on the same street, just a little bit farther down the path there, close to Guelph. But I've known Graham for a long time, and his brother and I went to high school together. So we have it was just like a cool, like, I know your brother, cool. I guess I went to high school with Graham too. He was just older than me, but yeah,
right.
Great Kitchener-Waterloo connection.
That's awesome. I love that. Definitely. And that's the other thing we were trying to do, was trying to have representation across as broader, places as possible as well. So it's not all like Toronto centric, a bit everywhere. So very, very cool.
I think we really hit that quite well.
I think we did pretty well. I feel like maybe this one's for you, Nate, actually, the next one.
Okay, sure. All right. So so now we're coming to my hometown, Dominion City. Yes. This is another case of we definitely couldn't do an event like this without having a collab with them, because they've been friends of the pod from pretty early on, and a brewery that I've been particularly close with since my since my early interest in craft beer. So really excited that we're working with them. And this is one where we've again got a style that is pulling away from the everything haze sort of thing, because with them we are looking at doing a Baltic porter.
Yes.
which is really exciting. And I know something that Andrew Farrell is going to be really stoked for, because he's been clamoring for that for quite a while. So that's an exciting one.
And
Very
I think we're going to do a for the event specifically a coffee version of it. We're going to put the coffee into the keg for this one, for that, so that we've got the found coffee beans in there, which I just kind of spoiled, but we'll get there in a second, which is very cool.
Yeah.
Next up, back to Prince Edward County, June Hopper.
Yeah.
Who are probably the youngest brewery on this list, I would say.
Yes, and they were our new brewery of the year for 2024.
They were spectacular. Honestly, Erica, you'd love them. They're a lovely couple, Colin and Steph. Lovely, lovely humans. They're actually just up the road from like Matron and all my friends. They're in Bloomfield. These guys are just up the road. And everything was killer, from Crispies, haze. The haze specifically was what we were loving. So we're doing a nice IPA. Is it single or double?
I believe it is single, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct. Single IPA. So we're doing a nice single IPA, New Zealand hop forward. Very excited. They are, they're stoked about it too. So they're really excited to come down and meet everybody and sort of be involved. But I feel like they excited us the most as far as like the youngest brewery from 2024. So very happy to have them involved. Yeah, very cool. All right.
Next up, coming back to Craig's neighborhood, Fairweather.
Yes.
Which I'm really, really, I keep on saying I'm really, really excited about. I'm excited about all of these, truthfully.
Seriously.
So yeah, but this one is quite cool. We're doing a fun twist on a classic style here, because the initial idea for them that we pitched them was a California common, and Ron, being the champion that he is, suggested a fun twist to basically do a Kiwi common. So a California common, but with Kiwi hops, which is really exciting. I'm really keen to see how that turns out.
Yeah, they said so far it's tasting great. They were like, in case it's not good, we can have a backup idea. But they were like, they're saying right now, so far so good. So I'm going to swing by soon just to have a little taste out of the tank and see how she's looking. But seems really fun. Yeah. And once again, this is the eclecticness of like the list. I feel like it's like, there's so many beers, you can have multiple. You can get like a larger pour of something like this and sit on it for a bit. You're good, which is very cool.
But you got to be thinking, if there's a Kiwi common on the list, like that's when you got to be curious to say like you know what, I need to taste that.
Oh yeah, you have to. It's fascinating. We love what they do with their Crispies. That's why we pitched them this one. Yeah, they were immediately down for, which is awesome. Next up, I feel like I'm doing all the Prince Edward County ones. Are close. Back to Kingston, Fine Balance, which is sick. Huge fans of Fine Balance, and we are doing a variant of their oats and cream flagship, which is super exciting. We're switching up the hops and twisting up some stuff, but oats and cream is one of the greatest beers. I think greatest flag. It's such an interesting flagship beer to have a lactose like IPA.
Yep. Absolutely.
So I think that's super fun. Have you been out there, Erica?
I haven't been. No, I need to get out to the county. I had a couple years where I couldn't do much traveling. So it was a lot of just East End, Toronto, muddy, Godspeed. I was very
like local
spoiled for sure with all the great East Toronto breweries. Oh my gosh. Like Eastbound and Muddy York before they moved on. Anyway. I haven't been out to the county yet. I've been to Slake and I've been to some of the ones about 5-6 years ago, but I need to go again.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
But yeah.
Well, a great thing that I'll shout out about Fine Balance is that it is about 5 minutes off the 401. So if you're ever doing a long haul stretch between Toronto and Ottawa or anywhere, like in that kind of direction, it's very easy to get there off the highway and worth the stop. Cool. And Craig, this is the one that's the triple.
I just checked. About. Yeah, I just checked. Yep, you're right. I didn't even realize because they hadn't done many triples, so we were like trying to ramp it up to the point where it's like, wow. Yeah. And they were super down.
Oh yeah. They seem stoked for it.
Okay, you're up.
Yep, and we're going back to my hometown because we've got Flora Hall.
Yes.
which is really exciting. And this is another one where it's kind of going like away from the expected style range, but it's one that they do really, really well. Because from them, we're getting a dark mild,
Yes.
which
Cool.
which I'm really keen on. Because Rod, their brewer is really, really dialed in on on those styles. Like their best bitter is one of their most popular beers. So it's one that that will really play to his strengths. Will really appeal to the local crowd and really balances out our style list quite nicely.
Yeah, they're awesome. When we did bevies and events in Ottawa, they were always like game to do every event. They like dropped, coupons and swag and stuff into all of our like swag bags we give to everybody. They're just awesome guys. And shout out to Miles. He's one of the brewers. He was on the email thread with us. And Miles is my brother's best friend. They actually met hot air ballooning. They are both
amazing
hot air balloon pilots. This is a story for another day. But Miles is like the loveliest human. He's like salt of the earth. I'm so excited. He instantly in the email thread was like, "We're coming to Toronto to party," and he's just like, he's an amazing dude. So I can't wait to see him again.
Yeah, Miles and Rod are both delightful, and shouts to Dave as well. The owner, just wonderful people.
They're just doing their thing, right? They're just they got. I know, yeah. My brother is a certified balloon pilot.
That is
as is Miles Dunn, who is now a brewer. Yeah, he lives his best life. Sure.
I love Flora Hole. It's always a stop in Ottawa.
Right.
I love them.
It's just
very happy to have them involved.
They kind of fly under the radar, but it's all good. They're always busy. They're always just doing their thing. They're not being fancy and sexy. They're just great for Ottawa. It's good.
Yep. I agree. And that's why a dark mild is perfect. So we've got something like that, some nice English styles to back.
And they're about a 10-minute walk from my house, which I love.
Which is phenomenal.
Great.
I love that. And then coming into the next one, which is something I spoiled earlier, we're doing a coffee bean collab with Found Coffee. Now, Found Coffee they're about to open their 5th location. They've got 4 in Toronto and a roastery in Guelph. And I went up just before I left for Florida. I went up to the Guelph roastery. We did a espresso tasting, and Jesus Lord! Like, first of all, I wanted to rock with them because the owner is from Sydney, so Aussie dude who is a hustler. He's only been in Canada like since 2020, I think, he's like 4 or 5 years. He's already a citizen. He's opened 5 fucking cafes. The dude is a beast. His name's Leighton. He's such a G. He had actually done a coffee collab with Partake, the non-alcoholic brewery. They did a white coffee stout, and he was down immediately to do this, and he's offering all the breweries like very like super cheap rates for this. And we picked an Ethiopian single origin that tastes like goddamn liquid blueberries. It was crazy. I've considered myself a relatively decent coffee enthusiast. Like, I don't know as much about coffee as I do about beer, but I probably love it as much, if not more. And it was just spectacular, Erica. It was so fucking good. So we're trying to use that coffee bean in as many of the brewery beers as we said, and to bring out that blueberry. So I'm genuinely very excited for that. And we're going to be pouring the coffee, even we just have like drip or something at the event for the designated drivers to give them a little something that's exciting. And or even if people are just want, just give me like a
little hit in the middle of the event. Yeah,
exactly right. Exactly.
Little break.
Exactly. Quick break. Nate.
Yes.
This one's big. This is big.
This one is big. Probably one of the biggest honors, considering their pedigree and also just how unbelievably fucking busy that the gentleman is who agreed to this with us is Godspeed, which is one of those breweries that we keep seeing. Like, how are we so lucky that we have that we have that brewery in Toronto?
They don't really collab, like they don't.
No, they don't.
Him and the team,
no, they don't.
There's only. And it's true.
You're 100% right.
Yeah,
you're 100% right. It's a huge honor that they that they were down to do this, and they don't do it for very many. Craig, do you want to break down what the plan is?
So right now they're gonna pull. They have like this separate fermenter. Then we're gonna do a blend, and we're gonna try. I think we're gonna test out they did like for their 7th anniversary, they did like a lager that we had Brett, where they pulled one of the lagers and they put some Brett in it. So maybe we're gonna try like a blend with some Brett. And I think if Bim said if it didn't work, we'll just do like a straight blend. So because they have like this tank next to their two beautiful pitch lined barrels from Pilsner Urquell. They have this little tank, so we get a decent batch. It's not little; it's pretty big, but it's not as big as their other batches. So we're gonna do something very special, like it's a unique blend. We're gonna test some stuff out and see. So at the moment, it's definitely going to be a blend of a couple of beers. I think we're gonna test it with Brett, and he's just said I think he's willing to throw shit at the wall. If it works, cool. If it doesn't, then we'll dump it and have something else. That's what he said. So either way, there's gonna be something unique from Godspeed. And you're right, Erica, that they don't really collab. They've collabed with fucking Czechvar, and I think they've done a collab with True History, and now they're incredible. Who unfortunately couldn't be a part of it just due to their lagers sit in their tanks for 3 months. So they've got a big lager event in May, unfortunately for our timing. So
they were like they were very, very considerate about it, and like said like they absolutely would have been down if they if timing and space had allowed, but it's just too tough for them, which I totally understand and appreciate.
Yeah, so that's very exciting. All right, so next up, back to my town here, Grain and Grit. Phenomenal brewery. I think they were the first Hamilton brewery we had on the pod. And such wonderful humans. I hung out with Joe and Jeff a few months back, and we decided they have a beer called Invisible Friend, and we're doing a double version of that. That's like one of their like not necessarily a flagship, but their most popular beers. So we're doing a double version of that. That's the set. We're doing a few beers where we're doubling up, like as Nate mentioned with Anderson. We're doing a double. Man, these beautiful sours. I'm burping them up.
Need a Pepto.
I know. I have a bunch from Costco right in front of me over there, so it's all good. We're talking about Costco off air. And so we're doing like a double version of that. We're throwing in some hops. We're hoping for some peach ream, but there's a caveat of the what's it called? The harvest coming through. So just a ramped up version, which is super fun, and we just locked in the brew day today actually. So that's happening in a couple of weeks. So I'm excited to get down for that.
Yep. Beauty. And next up, we're going to what Erica mentioned as one of her first beer jobs, an Ontario OG GLB, Great Lakes Brewery.
Yes.
And we are this is one that I'm really stoked that we are playing to their strengths and my favorite style that they make. We're getting a West Coast IPA, which could not be a better fit.
Yes.
Awesome.
Which excited for that. These guys slap at Westies, so we're gonna do a nice little bomb Westies. Once again, you'll see that as more of a. We're almost done actually. Gonna be killer. Great Lakes are phenomenal, obviously.
Yep.
As you know, Erica, more than any of us here. Another one. This is the only non-alcoholic beer that we're doing, but Harmon's. So Harmon's I had on the pod a couple of years ago. So Steve, who's one of the three co-founders of Harmon's, he actually is the founder of Mill Street Brewery, which is fucking amazing. Steve is a champion. And I reached out to them. Do you know what's funny? I reached out to them and they must have missed the email, and then they reached out to us to be a part of it.
Oh, cool.
They heard around the way that we were doing this, and they were excited. So I was like, yeah, I reached out. They're like, fuck, I didn't see the email. I'm so sorry. I'm like, boys, don't worry. You're good. So we're going to do I asked for a murky hazy IPA, non-alcoholic, as crazy as you can get. So that's another fantastic fun one for the DD.
And they seem pretty keen on that idea. Like they seem really committed to making it happen.
Yeah, I pitched them another idea, like a grisette, which they liked, and they came back and they were like, you know what, let's do the haze. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. So I think that's super fun.
Is Rob Doyle still their brewer?
He is indeed.
Yeah, great guy.
Yep.
They get shit done. They've got a good dream team. They just get shit done. They came out strong, and everybody was like, "What is this, Harmon's?" And then you're like, "Oh, it's Steve Abrams." Oh, okay, cool. And Rob is a great guy and a great brewer, and it's very challenging to make good quality non-alcoholic. Right? I had to drink it for 2 9-month pregnancies, right? And now non-alc's better than ever. It wasn't even that great 4 or 5 years
back
ago.
then.
So,
It's different era, right?
It gets better every, the stuff Blood Brothers is making, Burdock, Bellwoods, blah, blah, blah. But
Killer.
anyway,
Yeah, you guys are doing
so
some killer stuff. The Blood Brothers stuff is fantastic.
it's pretty
I
cool. Yeah.
saw you doing some of the sours too.
Basically, all Paradise Lost are going to be non-alc versions.
So smart. I
which
feel
is
like the
just-
sours
it's
work the
fun.
best.
It makes sense. It's like the Jelly
Ugh.
Kings, right? It's like you just
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
take your existing shit that people already love and convert it to non-alc, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So,
The sours lend itself so well to that.
Big time. So yeah,
Yeah.
two at the very least, we're gonna have those two options for DDs, and then probably some other Blood Brothers products, like some of the other Blood Brothers non-alcs as well.
right.
Not to mention the coffee.
Not to mention the coffee. Sorry, yes, exactly. We have the Found Coffee. We're gonna have the Harmons and the two collabs, and we'll probably give a few extras. We talked about it. We didn't specify exactly what, but probably some of the Blood Brothers stuff, just to make sure that DDs or people who just want like just a break for a second, like crush something
Or
non-alc.
if you don't drink, if you make a choice, if you're just going alcohol free or you're pregnant or whatever your medical reasons, like it's all good.
You can come through, and there's going to be hell no judgment. No one's judging shit, but just
we want everyone to like we want
feel
everyone
welcome.
to feel like
able
they
to
can
drink
have fun
things.
And fun things that just like, this is interesting. This coffee tastes like blueberry. This fucking hazy IPA tastes like it's got alcohol, but it doesn't. This is crazy. Here's all the Blood Brothers beautiful sours, like cherry cola, whatever. You said Paradise Lost, not this one, but still, just fun stuff. So really taking care of the DDs, making sure everyone feels good.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Next up.
So looking ahead in the last third of the list, but like a lot of Fire Quebec stuff coming up. So to kick that off, Ganawake from the Kanawake Reserve just outside of Montreal, which is going to be really fucking exciting. And this one is, if I'm not mistaken, going to be a big coffee stout.
I think it is because yes, you know what? It is either coffee stout, yes, because we're doing two collabs. We're doing one for their anniversary with the homies that we did last year, which we did the fake news, that was this one we did last year. So we're doing a different version of that, and then we're doing the BAOS collab for the anniversary, which is going to be using the Found Coffee, in the stout, which is super fun, super exciting.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Love it. Next one. L'Espace Public in Montreal, who great friends of us. Simon Livingston is from Burlington, Ontario. Do you know Simon at all, Erica?
I don't.
No,
I don't think so.
He's no. Okay, I wasn't sure if he'd been around. He's like I hope he comes down because he's one of my favorite humans like of all time. Like you would love him so much. He's the cuddliest, like wonderful dude. Best mullet. He's got a wicked mullet now. He is a G. And so one of our first collabs was the where the fuck is it? Okay, it's up here anyway. We did the Bière de Vacances, the orange creamsicle lactose, because they do a lot of low ABV stout. So we're doing a low ABV sour. Sorry, that's a stout sour. And we're doing it with the same fruits and the same recipe essentially as what we're doing for the Bellwoods and what we're doing for one of the American ones, which I'll get to in a second. So we're trying to take this recipe for this Aussie dessert for the Bellwoods in a 7% beer, and then this will be like a 4.5% beer. So we're doing different versions. Then another one's going to be different in the US as well. So super fun. Very excited to have them involved. Nathaniel, this is perfect. This one's you.
Yes, indeed. So again from Quebec, and this is what this will be one that's exciting for the hype chasers. Is we've got Le Catch.
Yes, we do, and this is extra good.
Yeah, one of our fucking faves, from Quebec. One of our favorite discoveries of the last 2 or 3 years. Really, really stoked to have them on board. And Guillaume was such a champion to be down with our idea for this, because he was actually down to do a split batch, for half of it. He went with a hop selection that Craig made, and for the other half, a hop selection that I made. So we're getting a choice from each of us on that.
So technically, that is 40 beers plus the coffee because of those two.
Yeah, I suppose it is now that you mention it.
I didn't think about that
because that is actually 2 different beers.
Yeah, I didn't think about that because they'll do like the split cases when they send it down.
Yep, I won't tease the entire hop selection, but I can. But I will say that they both contain Maui Nelson hop keef.
These are some banger hop selections, and these guys are obviously some of the best haze in in Canada, period. So this is very
They are
exciting.
like, and that's no exaggeration. And as far as going with like big New Zealand freestyle hops, like Guillaume is is one of the champions of it. Like he goes hard with that shit.
Big time. Look, would you guys mind if we take a 2-second break just when we go to the bathroom? I feel like I'm
Me too.
Boston.
Is that cool? Okay. All right, we'll be back in a sec.
All right.
And we're back.
And we're back.
So because this list is so long, we're going to let Erica do. We're doing this on a Tuesday. We normally would do it on a Thursday, so it's a very different time. Tuesday feels a lot different than a Thursday.
Appreciate you.
Accommodating
my
problem.
schedule.
Obviously, 2 young children. It's a different life. Erica, thank you so much for hanging out and for breaking everything down, and once again for just basically spearheading this whole thing. It's been awesome, and we really appreciate all the work you put into it and everything that you're doing.
Absolutely.
How do we want to end this? What's the messaging that you want to leave people with as far as this event?
Please come, because it's going to be amazing, and you're going to see a lot of great folks all in a room together in the heart of Toronto, drinking 40 incredibly unique special collabs, one time only. So I think, yeah, get it in ya. Fest.ca. You're much better at the promotion than I am. I'm such an old lady. I'm like, yeah. You're like very good at all this marketing, social media.
No,
but yeah, come to the festival. It's gonna be awesome. Great food, great vibes. Just out for 3 hours, or go to BAOS sessions and have a great time. So
maybe a third. We'll see how y'all go. We'll see how.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, if we crush ticket sales both sessions, we'll open up a third session, which will be an even earlier session, so you can have a little day drink and then get the rest of your day on. And it'd be great to launch this festival, super successful. It sells out, and then we keep doing it once a year, twice a year, whatever we decide. So it's just the start of
how great would that be?
Many future festivals. So
it's exciting. It's very good, and we're very grateful for everything. We appreciate you immensely. Was there anything you want people to go and follow you or to check anything out? Is there any messaging there?
Yeah, sure. At Society Clubhouse is our space at 967 College. If you're ever doing cool events and happenings and want a reasonably priced, awesome hub in Toronto, definitely check us out. And then Blood Brothers Brewing, obviously, is the incredible brewery I work for. And I was at Toronto, America for many years on Instagram, and I am now at Erica Lynn Campbell because I'm not creative. So it is just my full name on Instagram if you want to give me a follow. And yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was a lovely 2 hours, and thanks for enjoying Blood Brothers beers with me.
Oh, it was an honor and a pleasure.
Can't thank you enough, Erica. Thank you.
Seriously, appreciate y'all. All right, we're gonna pause for a sec. You're the best. Go follow Erica. Okay. Check out Society, and we'll jump back in a second. Appreciate y'all. And we are back. All righty, let's keep cruising through the rest of this list, because look, I feel like they're all really worth talking about. This is some
for sure
hitters, man.
Yeah.
The next one, which is, I guess, is me. Next one, back to Prince Edward County. I feel like I'm the Prince Edward County man tonight. Is Matron Fine Beer. Of course, we had to do a collab with Matron, and this is another phenomenal one that we were stoked to do a double version of. So this was Nate's idea. You should actually tell him, because this was your idea.
Yeah. So my favorite IPA that Matron does is Danky, which is their super dank West Coast IPA. And I've been keen for a minute to see a double version of it, and I was really stoked when I pitched that idea to Justin, and he was just totally down for it. He said there's been a couple of beers that they've been wanting to do double versions of for a while, which I was really excited by, really excited that he was just immediately down for it. So that's what it's going to be. It's going to be double danky, which should be great.
Yeah, which is it's super exciting, because that is a killer beer, and the fact that he's down. And what's interesting is that the last biggest beer that Matron ever did, it's probably behind here, was a collab for Link Up, which I think was 7%, and this is going to.
That's what I remember. Yeah.
Yes, and I think this will be 8%, which is exciting. That we'd be able to.
It should be the biggest beer they've done yet.
Yes. Now this is the next one, so we've eclipsed our own record.
That's right.
With Matron, which is fucking awesome, which we're super stoked about. It's very, very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, very exciting. And you should actually do this next one.
I was going to say, I just looked at it and I'm like, yes, I definitely should. So the second US brewery takes us all the way to Rochester, New York with Mortalis. So if anyone knows Mortalis, they know they are the smoothie and big barrel-aged stouts. Their smoothies are impeccable. My mate Jared is one of their, or probably the main brewer there actually, in Avon, New York, which is just south of Rochester. And we remember how we were talking about the thing that we're doing with Bellwoods and the thing that we're doing with L'Espace Public. We're doing that with Mortalis in a smoothie version. So we're going to have the same essential, or at least very similar, because not everybody can access the same stuff. Fruits based on an Aussie dessert for Bellwoods at a 7%ish. Then we're going to do like a 4.5ish. And I'm not sure what the percentage is of this one, but it definitely is going to be a smoothie. So I know that people are going to be pretty stoked for that. So I'm personally going to go and pick that one up alongside the Celestial. So it's exciting. So we got those are the two American contributions to this, and we're very grateful that these guys are down to do it. It's super cool, man. Very exciting.
Yeah, that is very exciting.
I'm here for it.
And you have linked me with a couple of their smoothies in the like over the last couple of years, and it's been probably some of the best smoothies I've ever tasted. So yeah, that one's exciting.
They're sweet, but they're fucking great.
Yeah.
Next up.
So another from Quebec now. Now going to Quebec City with Noctem.
Yes.
Which is really exciting. So these, for those who don't know, you've probably seen some of their labels if you spent any time in any Quebec beer stores. They're the ones with the cats on the labels.
Yes.
And do you want to break down what the style is? Because I don't have it at top of mind right now.
Yes, no problem. I have it here. And guys, if we're forgetting, it's literally just because there's so many beers that it's so hard to remember. So right now I have just written, I think we're in the stage of figuring out some of the details. So I think it's going to be either a single.
Yeah, that's why it's not top of mind.
Yeah, no, it's just because we haven't. So all I've written down is hazy IPA, which means it could be double, it could be single. I have a feeling we decided on a single IPA. I don't think we've figured out completely the hops or the name yet for that one. But I know that every time I've had any beer, whether it's single, Westy, double, anything like that from Noctem, it's always fire. They're impeccable. And I actually got to hang out with Jean-Michel at OCB. He was one of the few folks from Quebec who bothered to come out, which is super dope. I appreciate him. He, fun fact, introduced me to Ben from Breakside, who we had on the pod, and I got you out those beers, Nate, from that, which were exceptional. So I was chatting with Jean-Michel. Ben came over. He knew Ben, so hooked us up, and then we got on the pod. So very appreciative. I'm excited for this one because Noctem have been, the Catnip IPA is a Quebec classic at this point. So it's
absolutely it is
super exciting. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
All righty. Next one is this me?
Yeah, that's you.
Oh, you. Is now this is a follow-up to a previous collab. We are rocking with Rorschach out of Toronto, and I want to say, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. It's probably 2023, wasn't it?
Yes, that would have been 2023.
We did Naturalis Historia. A little bit of an ode to a brewery or to a beer that might look familiar, and we are doing a ramped up version of that. Basically a triple dry hopped version of that, and a little more accurate. I went, just fun fact, I had Pliny for President, which I had the can over here, and I took it down, and me and Maddie had a bit of a tasting, and we tasted it side by side with their current West Coast IPA, and just to give a bit of an idea, because that's a triple dry hopped Westie. It's not a full 8%, but it's still a bit more of an idea. So we did a bit of a tasting and got more of an idea, because I feel like the first version didn't quite, we went a little bit darker with the malts than we should have, and things like that. So now I think we're going to be much more on track.
It was still tasty beer. Just it was just maybe a bit stylistically different than what we were aiming for, but still fucking delicious.
Absolutely. So this one's going to be exactly where we need it, because we were drinking it side by side with their fresh one, which was 6.5%. And that was, I forgot the name of it. I think it was a variant of Truth Serum, but a Westie version. Fantastic. Fuck, it was good. So I was like, oh, this is like, it was very similar. So we're like, all right, we've really, they know what they're doing now. I think at the time that was one of the first West Coast IPAs they'd really done. They did one before that was like hazy, and then our one, which was we just didn't know we were trying to, present an ode to a particular beer. So, yeah, this next one's going to be a banger. Very excited.
Yeah, no, that'll be dope.
Next one, Nathaniel.
Yes, next up we go to Guelph with Royal City. Now, this is a brewery that I particularly appreciate for their lagers and for their higher ABV dark beers. Like I think that personally, I think that's what they do best.
Yep.
And we are getting kind of a combination of that in this because we are getting a Schwartz beer, which is which is another exciting and a bit off trend addition to the lineup, which should be really, really good because they do really, really good crispies. So I think this will be a great addition to the lineup.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Stoked for it. I love Schwartz beers too.
Oh yeah.
And swinging back to Erica's land in Kitchener is Shortfinger. And I went out to see Rob not long before I left in January, and we did a bit of a blending session. So we're going to do, obviously, they are known for their blended barrel-aged farmhouse beer called Lando and the infinite variants of such. So we're like, well, if we're going to do a beer with Shortfinger, I'd love to do some sort of barrel-aged, sour type shit. So, yeah, we did a bit of a blend and we came up with some stuff. Some of it's young beer, some of it's been sitting for a bit, some of it was barrel. So we picked the hops. I guess, should we say where the hops were from? Because this is fun. I guess we could, right?
You might as well, yeah.
So on the pod we did with Rob, which was one of the last ones we dropped, the fun thing is that we were talking about the beer called Pulp that Nate and Rob... Did you get... No, you got yours the day after. Rob was drinking it. So Pulp was the Badlands collab. At Badlands. The Barncat collab.
There you go.
Years ago. Yeah, I know, right? Fuck. With Clementines. And what Rob has done in the past is take second use hops. So obviously we don't need it to be a hoppy beer. So he's actually taken the hops from Pulp, which is a beer I personally have never had, but I've always wanted to because of the, connection with Barncat and sort of what that beer meant to the Ontario beer scene. We're taking those hops, we're putting them in our beer. So we're doing a nice blend. And basically he said he'd done that already. So we're looking pretty good. We have a funny name for it. So it's sick. I'm excited for that one.
This is one where we're really playing to the brewery's strength. This is what Rob does best.
This is one of the perfect examples of that, eh?
Yeah,
from all
for
of
sure.
these ones. Yeah, love it. Next one.
Next one, back to Quebec, Sir John.
Let's go.
Yes. So this is a brewery that we both very much agree that this past year has probably been their best year to date. They've been so on point, really ramped it up across the board, from their haze to their wicked big decadent pastry stouts. It's all just been fantastic. And there's a really, really exciting blend that we're doing with them, which is going to be a big imperial stout blended with a smoothie, which I have never seen before. And I'm really, really keen to see how that turns out.
And we actually got to customize the smoothie. So they're going to release the smoothie. So we had a talk when I was in Florida, and because obviously Nate and I have been kind of dividing and conquering for a lot of this stuff because it's not always feasible for both of us to be there. And they actually take an existing smoothie that they're going to release and then some existing stout. So their stout, it's the one we had on the pod. It started with P. Do you remember the name of it? Partition or something? That
sounds like it could be right.
Something along those lines. Excuse my memory. And then the smoothie, which I guess I won't say what it is because I actually have it written down, so I won't say it since we're not giving everything away. But we came up with some custom smoothie ingredients, the actual elements of it, and they were super down for all of that. So they're gonna change the smoothie because they had it differently originally. They were going to take this base, and I was like, well, why don't we make the base this and this? And they were like, all right, sweet. So we're going to customize the smoothie, even though that's technically not going to be a collab, and then use that and then blend it all together. So going to be so good, man. The fun factor was I tried it. We're at Mortalis in Buffalo. I don't know, last winter, and the folks there saw us taking photos, and they came. The bartender came over and was like, "Oh, so you guys, what do you guys do?" And we were talking about the pod. He's like, "Oh, sick." He didn't know we knew Jared from Mortalis, who's the brewer, and he gave us. I mean, he goes, "Yeah, I do this all the time," and he gave us little tasters, 3-4 ounces of a blend of smoothie and stout. And I was like, fuck, this is amazing. I never even thought of it. It's just they're like, those are the two things that Mortalis do best. And he blended them up. And ever since then, I was like, oh man, I've never seen it before. Like you said, man, I've never seen it either. So John was just going to be like a keg of it. It's going to be pretty, or a couple of kegs. Like it's going to be very limited. So it's this one's super exciting.
Yeah, this is one you're not going to see anywhere else.
No. Oh, this one I didn't even know if they're going to pour it at Sir John actually. So this is going to be a super, super exclusive, which I love it. Next one. Is this me or you? Me.
This is you.
Back to PEC. Of course, it's me. Prince Edward County's finest. The finest view in the county, Slake. Obviously, Slake
yes.
Impeccable. I don't remember what we're doing. Let me just double check. This is where my memory's getting hazy.
I can tell you right now if you want.
Yeah, please.
Hazy. This is going to be a hazy featuring Manalita hops.
And Cascade, no?
New Zealand Cascade is supposed to be the supporter. That's unconfirmed, but Manalita is for sure.
Gotcha. So nice one. Slake are just like, they do some wicked haze. They do some nice, smooth, chill shit. So it's super exciting that these guys are so down, and Nick is such the man.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's going to be great. Their stuff always is. Like this is a hop that they've never worked with before. That they've been keen to try. So I'm like excited that they're using it for our collab.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
it's like a boss. Love it. Oh, this is perfect for you. Next one.
It is. See, this is lined up so well. You've got you've covered all the PEC ones, and all of the Ottawa ones have lined up on my turn, which is kind of perfect.
And even the next one
too. Yes.
The next 4 all line up, which is the final 4, all line up perfectly.
Yep. All right. So next up, back in my neck of the woods, Small Pony Barrel Works.
Yes.
Which is no. This is. Again, I feel like I'm saying the same thing on every single one, but it's really, really fucking exciting because Small Pony is one that has absolutely still been active since their public location closed. But it's it's one that some people may it may have fallen off the radar a little bit, but they're still very active. Sean is still brewing beers. He he even just did his green smooth for St. Patrick's Day and whatnot. But this this one, there's something really, really exciting that the timing worked out super, super well for, because you remember something he's done twice before is his super limited dessert stout series.
Big boys.
Which for my money are some of the best beers he's ever made. It's not something he does very often. But man, have they been fucking huge. So we're talking massive, big imperial stout, super thick, super decadent, and all with a very desserty theme. We are still dialing in on what exactly the adjunct combo is going to be for the end result. So I won't drop any teasers on that yet, but except one component I can confirm is the Found Coffee collab. Will be a part of it. So the rest we will leave off for now until that's confirmed, but look forward to a massive decadent dessert imperial stout from Small Pony Barrel Works.
Oh, it's going to be disgusting. I can't wait.
Yes.
Love it. Next up, I had a big 2-hour chat with Bebo from Third Moon while I was in Florida about what we were going to do, and we were tossing up all sorts of ideas. The initial idea, to be honest, was a stout barley wine blend, which was something that we really wanted to do. That didn't pan out, and we went through all the different options. And the reason why is we went through their this is going to be part of the Third Moon anniversary drop, which we can say that. And super stoked for that. Super stoked. And this is going to be a Westie, a nice Westie with New Zealand hops. I'm not going to drop all the hops, but you know what? It would have been easy to do a haze bomb with Third Moon. Easy.
Yep.
We even tossed around the idea of a smoothie. But then Bebo was like, usually he said that the beers that he drinks the most of are the ones that ends up being the least popular. And I feel like that Nate and I, we are both, are we not like the biggest Westie fans? I don't really know many people who are larger Westie fans than us, aside from the people who, some like the boys at Seiki and Baron who just fucking like dominate it.
Yep.
So it kind of like, I like the idea. I feel like the Left Hand Path series, honestly, I've had, I think everyone except the one of the more recent ones I might have missed when I was away, if I did miss one, is one of their best series. I feel like underrated as fuck. I've enjoyed every single one of them. So I was telling Bieber,
agreed.
I was like, these are just so fantastic. Not to mention the collabs with Sawdust and all the stuff they've been doing with the Bone Tree variants and stuff. Bone Tree / Lone Pine, little 4-way things. And like fuck, man, let's do a Westie. He was amped with it, and I was like, well, Nate and I are amped with it, so this is fun. And I just feel like it's like a cooler thing because I feel like they probably would have normally done a Westie and not made it a collab. They would have kept it pretty like just themselves. But I feel like it's like kind of cooler, and it's cool to be a part of their anniversary with that, and it's like a double redrop, and this is what we were hoping for as many as possible for that. So it's very exciting. Stoked for that one.
Yep. No, that's great. Can't wait for it.
Boys,
so now again, lining it up beautifully, coming back to Ottawa. This is another one which is a huge honor. That they'd be down to do it, and and couldn't have had a celebration like this without them.
Nope.
Tooth and Nail.
Yes.
One of the absolute Ontario champions. We were so stoked that Maddie was down to do this with us, and like very enthusiastically so. I had the pleasure to sit in the Tooth and Nail tap room with Matt and and a couple of others from the brewing team, tossing some ideas back and forth. And we were looking in a couple of different directions, and where we ended up is a bit of a departure from what you might expect typically from Tooth and Nail, because this bad boy is going to be a New Zealand Pils.
Love that.
Which is kind of bonkers exciting that he'd be willing to go that kind of off the wall from his typical wheelhouse, but like he actually seems really stoked for it, which is quite exciting.
It's very cool. The fact that that he was so down is obviously Matty is just salt the earth, best of the best.
Yep.
There's a bunch of breweries here that was just like basically everybody is an honor. Let's be real. Like it's just the fact that everyone's down is like, look, man, we're just some podcasters doing our thing. So the fact that everyone's down is crazy. The breweries that collab the least are sort of the more surprising ones, which is how we feel like, whoa, you're down? Like you don't really collab with that many folks. Like it's very cool. It's very, very cool. And I guess that speaks, Maddie was somebody.
It's such an honor.
It's truly, like we had Maddie on in 2017 when I absolutely fucking did not appreciate what he did in any, like I liked it, but I didn't understand it. I really didn't. And so that was when we had Dominion City on at the same time. So that same weekend at the CBAs in Ottawa was a beautiful weekend, even though I was sick as fuck. It was wicked. It was so good. So I'm very grateful that that relationship with Maddie has grown over the years, and I saw him at the OCBs, and I was all like, oh man, this fucking guy's the best. It was very nice, and I know you feel the same way. So it's an honor. Super stoked.
Yeah.
One of the crispy lodge.
100%.
Second last one. So one of my faves, one of my personal faves, we met these guys right as they opened Town Brewery in Whitby. Funnily enough, Jeff was texting me as I was doing this pod. Jeff is the fucking man. We are doing a nice big fat juicy double IPA, and when we met, that was our thing, that we connected on Big Haze. So we were like, we got to do a big, and we've been talking about collabs for years, bro. Like it just never worked out. I don't know why. It was like different things. Like we talked about it, but never sort of moved on it. And they're, doing a million things out there, and they're like dominating the scene in Whitby. It's a beautiful thing. So, to do a big, beautiful haze bomb with the boys is awesome. Super stoked for it. That's gonna be a banger. I think it's without double checking. I know we had that talk relatively recently. Let me just check. I think it's big. Oh wow, a bit of a mix of stuff. We had mostly New Zealand stuff, but we have we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hops we wrote down. So who knows if that's what it'll end up, but it's going to be a banger, big juicy banger.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Last
Now
one.
okay. So finishing off the list with coming to the end of the alphabet, we've got Wavemaker from
Yes.
Cambridge, Ontario, back out close to Erica's neck of the woods. So this is an exciting one. We had just like every single other one that I mentioned. I can't seem to stop using the word exciting.
It's a great adjective.
You know, we had Scott on the pod a couple of years ago now. Absolutely loved what he did, and really keen to have him on board for this. We are doing for this one a hazy banger, and we're still dialing in the specifics, but I can tell you it is going to be all Aussie hopped, which is very appropriate. And knowing his very exciting, colorful, vibrant labels, you can expect like some nice Aussie themes in there to pair well with the bold, punchy Aussie hops in this hazy banger.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, excited because particularly the Aussie hops had their heyday, and then New Zealand is really what it's all about. So, you know, Scott's idea was to bring back some Aussie hops. So,
yeah,
I feel like a lot of them are in a better position, particularly Galaxy.
Yeah, Galaxy seems to be popping right now, which is awesome.
Slapping right now. Someone explained to me, I wish I could remember, someone explained to me what happened in Australia. There was like a whole thing why it sucked for a while. It was something to do with the way that, someone told me. Maybe it was when I was in Florida. Someone explained the whole thing. This is a problem with drinking. I don't remember the details, but it was basically some sort of institutional thing which kind of fucked up all the hops. So now we're in a really good position with Galaxy. So that's going to be a nice little banger. But yeah, guys, so that's all the collabs, and that's really what's happening with the event. Like, I feel like we had to kind of go through everything and really give them all its shine there. But yeah, man, I'm really grateful for Erica for driving this, like we said, and for pushing us to do it and making it happen. Really, at the end of the day, while Nate and I were able to kind of like focus on getting these beers done and really. That's really what our focus has, and we've sort of done little things, you know, booked a DJ, we got that, and you know, the name of the festival, and we brought in the cookie, Shasta, a cookie called Quest, and things like that to make it really fun. But yeah, we just want this to be a really well attended event with like just cool beer enthusiasts who are just wanting to try some fun stuff that you can't get everywhere else, and like you don't want to go to a beer festival and pay a bunch of money and it's just the same shit. These beers are all very, very, very unique, and some of them are only available here. I don't even, like I said, don't even know if Sir John, for example, are going to be pouring the beer at their own brewery. They might not. And if they're not, and it's just for this, and Godspeed too, I don't know if they're going to pour it. It might just be here. So those are beers that we have to try, like there, you know, if we can. Oh, well, of course we'll be able to, but because we're going to be there the whole day. But it's, you know, it's very exciting. It's like I said, it's daunting. It's crazy that we're even doing this. But we wanted to do this pod to just really break it down and just to explain exactly what it's going to be, what you can expect. If you're interested, we'd love to see you there. We'd love to meet everybody that's watching and listening and been supporting us for 10 years. You know, getitinyourfest.com. You can go there. We're also going to have glassware. The glassware for the festival by Zenon Glass. So Shasta Zenon, down at Zenon's the man who was on the pod on episode 7, I think it was. 6 or 7 of the Business of Beer series with Aiden. From Henderson, talking about glassware. We're also going to have custom BAOS glassware additional sale. We're going to do hats, anniversary hats, and anniversary glassware as well, and then optional donations to link up if you want to donate to our nonprofit. So it's, you know, it's going to be a vibe, man. I'm excited for it. It's yeah.
So am I. I like truly can't wait to see all of you there. Every single one of you.
Every one of you. If you listened if you've ever pressed play on this podcast, you better fucking be there. Now we want to see y'all, man. Come through. Whether you're in Quebec, come through. We might even try and we're gonna get some what do you call it? Preferred hotel rates or something. We're even thinking about like just staying in Toronto to make it easier rather than try and like Uber back to fucking Hamilton or some shit.
Yeah.
But you just really soak it up, man. It's just going to be a celebration of BAOS, and the fact we've been around for so long, for 10 years, is pretty pretty crazy. We're very proud of everything that we've contributed to craft beer, but also a celebration of just craft beer, man. It's just Ontario craft beer, Quebec, Canada, a couple from America as well, which is an important scene, very influential, some really cool people. I met a lot of people in my, last travels there in the last like month and a half. I met a lot of people who were the owners and just people in beer. It's just, it's a really cool industry, and that's what we really hope to use our platform to celebrate craft beer and hopefully to bring a bit more excitement to beer at a time when maybe not enough people are paying attention to it, because it's a beautiful industry. We love the people who run it, who are making the products, and and we just want to support everybody and everyone to have a good time.
Absolutely.
Love it. So get it in your fest. Use the code POD5, PODFIVE. Get extra $5 off for the any time on there, but even on the early bird thing, let's do it. Let's just get everybody in. Get in. We're not trying to bleed anybody. This is not a money making thing. Obviously, we we don't really have sponsors on the pod. We're not making like cash from this, right? This is just us like wanting to celebrate. We don't get money from the collabs either. This is just for people who don't know. You do the collabs, we don't get shit. You can imagine how much it costs for these breweries to put this stuff up. It's a marketing thing. That's what this is. As far as we want to market craft beer and let people know, hey, come to one place, try some incredible stuff. Very broad, beautiful list of products, and you hopefully get to meet a lot of the people behind that. So come through, hit us up. Any last words?
Enjoy some beers from from your favorite breweries all in one place.
Unique beers from your favorite breweries all in one place. Things you can't get elsewhere, which is the reason to come out. It's on a Saturday, 3-hour session. You can do stuff before, you can do stuff after. You won't get too fucked up because you don't feel like it's $150 and you're throwing down samples and not remembering anything. We really want you to have a good time and have a few beers, have a lot, but or have a few. Just chill. It's all good. We got non-alcoholic stuff too. So
and and hang out with good people who are there to celebrate the same thing as you. No one needs to drink their money's worth. It's like everyone's going to be there to have a good time and celebrate craft beer.
Amen. So, and everybody is welcome as well. It doesn't matter where you are, where you're from, what you're doing, what your deal is. Just come through, man. Just be cool. Let's have some fun. Let's just have everybody represent. I want it to look like Toronto in there. Have every different, everyone from every background. That's a beautiful thing, because that's why I want more people to be exposed to craft beer and to know how amazing it is, and to continue to patronize these venues, because I don't want to see, there's too many closures and too many stresses on the industry. The more people who are familiar with it and who can get down with it, the better. It's just a net positive. So yeah, we're excited to have you. We're excited to do this. We're grateful to Erica. We're grateful to Blood Brothers. We're grateful to all of the 40 different businesses who are collaborating with us on beers and coffee. Let's fucking go. Get it in your fest. Spectacular. Get it in you fest. Get it in ya, Y-A, fest.com. POD5 is the code for the discount. Get that. Grab the glass. Grab the hat. Donate to Link Up if it tickles your pickle. Get your discount. We'll fucking see you there. May 31st, Saturday. Let's go. And with that, guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you enjoyed the episode, Nathaniel, smash the thumbs up. Hit subscribe below. Hit that notification bell.
Ding.
So you know when the new drops. Follow us everywhere at BAOS Podcast, at Nathan Does Beer. We drop now we're going to be back in business. Now I'm back here. We did take a break because shit was hard when you're traveling. And we're back every Wednesday. Follow us, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars. Those 5 stars really help. People judge off stars. We need them bitches. We need them stars. The fucking vibes. Guys, love y'all. We see you in the next one. Peace, y'all.
Cheers.